Check, check, hello, test, check. Hello. நீங்க இது அவுட் போதானா ஸ்பிட்டர் இருந்து அதுல வருது அவுட்டு check this. Yes. Check, check, hello. Hello, check, check. Hello, test, check, check. Check. Hello, hello, check, check, check. Hello, 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 check, check. Open. Hello, 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 check, check. Hello, 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 check, check, check. Hello, check. Check, check one, check. Hello, check. அது நம்ம எனக்கு புரியுது ப்ரோ அவங்களுக்கு புரியுமா அது சொல்லுங்க கிளைண்ட்டுக்கு புரியுமா நீங்க வந்து பேசுறீங்களா நான் கிளைண்ட் கிட்ட கேடும் நீங்க வாங்க நான் காட்டுறேன் ஆள் உள்ளதான் டேபிள் மேல டேபிள் மேல போட்டோ எடுத்து அனுப்புறேன் பாக்குறீங்களா குடிச்ச காஃபில இருந்து எத்தனை வரவங்க என்ன பண்ண முடியும் இன்னும் சொல்ல முடியுங்களா சொல்லுங்க எவ்வளவு சொல்ல முடியுமோ சொல்லியிருக்காங்க அதுக்கு மீறியும் உள்ள வந்திருக்கு கிருஷ்ணா ஸ்வீட்ஸ் பேட்ச் மயிறு
Hello. Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. So apologies for the delay in starting the session. We were just awaiting for colleagues to return from the auditorium, and we're going to begin. So welcome. My name's Sandy Bengal, and I'm delighted to be on this panel speaking about all things from degree to career, which is very topical and very, very important to students wherever they're sat in the world. And I'm going to turn over and let my guests introduce themselves and talk a bit about why, degree to career is really important from their point of view. And then we'll begin like a fireside chat. So I'm going to invite Stephanie to introduce herself and please.
Thank you, Sandy. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us. My name's Stephanie Walton. I'm a Director of Recruitment and Admissions at the University of East London. And I'm a very proud employee of the university and a brand ambassador out here in India, really making sure that students, families and supporters of international mobility and education understand the UEL proposition, which is a careers first proposition. So the university understand that we're not just the guardians of academia. We are also responsible and have a moral obligation to make sure that students get a return on investment in their academic studies. So outcome is extremely important from the very point, the start of inquiry, when we engage with students and talk to them about their aspirations and their ambitions for their career or the desire for entrepreneurship. Actually, the University of East London takes that very seriously. So I'm here today just to share some of the initiatives and the interventions and impact that we have around career readiness for the world of work or for startup entrepreneurship.
Thank you, Stephanie. I'd like to invite Dr. Femina to also introduce herself.
Thank you, Sandy. Hi, good afternoon. I'm Dr. Femina. I'm an Associate Dean at Vinayaka Missions Law School, and I'm a proud alumni of University of East London. And I'm also an Industrial Advisory Board member too. So it's a great pleasure to see you all here. I think few of them will join you. I'm here to speak about how academics will bridge the gap in the industry sector. So that is what my role is, what they've told. I think as we start with the session, I think more to share with you and looking forward for it. Thank you.
Thank you. And Shantana, please.
Thanks, Sandy, and thanks for having all of us here.
I'm Shantala Vegas, and currently I'm the Senior Director at TAI Hyderabad, and I lead the operations of TAI in the state of Telangana. I'm also a member of the Industry Advisory Board of the University of East London, and as a part of the IAB, all our collective responsibility and also passion is to bridge the gap between degree and career, as Sandy very rightly put it. And the reason that degree to career is important for me as an industry leader too is there is a vested interest in getting the best resources and to reduce the time that we generally lose in training post recruitment, right? So that is something that interests me in equipping students right where they're spending 4 to 5 most productive years of their youth, where they're all totally charged up. And we do have a program in TAI also which aligns with that TAI University, TAI U. So something very similar, and we'll talk more about it as we go forward.
Brilliant, thank you so much. So, Dr. Fumina, may I ask you if you could shed some light on AIB and tell us how is it working, and maybe speak about the pillars of AIB, please.
So it's IAB, Industrial Advisory Board, which is a part of UAL, which it's been a year. We've started it. The initial stage, what we have come across is like certain things that we need to mend the students from the they start their degree. For basically like when they join their courses. It's not the final year we have to tell them like, look, there are certain things, certain criteria, you have to fix it. So that is what IAB's platform, what we're going to use it. So we're going to bring more mentors. So basically an alumni of UEL or people who are working in the industry sectors, research-based projects also we wanted to do it. And also build the curriculum, something which says that from the day one you're here, you're going to build something for yourself and for the community, and you're going to shine ahead. So the 4 pillars is basically what I said is like mentorship. So every week or every month, one of the mentors who's already an alumni or the course people who are already in UEL will be dealing with the students, we'll be guiding them with what exactly they have to do. So like a course mentor or what the mentor in their career. So next would be like a research-based project. So curriculum, if you see, always we'll have an assignment, then you have to we'll be marking them. So we don't want that. So that is why UEL stands special, where we also go into life projects, so like you go build something and you create what exactly the world wants. And then, of course, career placement, guideship we give them. And we don't want anyone to be left alone. So there should not someone who should say like, no, I've learned so much and I'm not got a job. So we wanted to stand alone and we want to build something, a bigger platform for the students.
And thank you. So how is IAB engaging with employers?
So IAB, for initially we have come across certain things like where the gaps we have found. So something like curriculum building. So now we have given developed the curriculum now, and we've given for approval. So we're just waiting for those approvals. So once it is done, then we are good to go.
Excellent, thank you for your insights. Steph, I'm going to turn to you with your recruitment hat on. So degree to career, there's a shift and a significant shift from kind of academic courses, degrees, to prioritising skills, experience and job readiness for students. So what is the University of East London doing to support its students into work?
Yeah, good question. Thank you, Sandy. I think the old model of employability being an add-on to the programme the student is studying, or a service that's provided within the university that students have to actively and proactively engage with. We know some students just don't have the confidence or the social capital to go and actually seek out the help and services that are on offer. So the careers guarantee is really the lead proposition from University of East London for all students, and what that means is careers is embedded, employability is embedded in every single course. It's mandatory. So students don't have to seek and find the support in services that we have at the university. I think it's really, really key to understand that employers now are looking for the skill set of the next 5 to 10 years. And we know that students can become very quickly like experts in their field, in their academic field, but actually they lack the skills and perhaps the soft skills that go with being somebody who is impactful in the workplace. So the university has worked really hard to embed those sort of skills into every single program, and actually the student actually builds up evidence of their experiences. So whether that's practice-based learning, that again is a key criteria of the careers guarantee at UEL. What we want is our students to build experience that matters to employers. So we work with over 2,500 industry partners, so active industry partners in the UK and overseas, that enable students to access internships, placements, or lived experience during their programmes. So whether we bring industry to campus or we take students out for experiences either in the UK or overseas, to really build their CV. Because actually when you come out of university, what you want is to be somebody that is deemed as very hireable and somebody who could potentially have impact from day one. So the university has built this careers guarantee, which makes access mandatory really for students, so that they are going through not just their academic learning, but their learning of what the future might be for them in the workplace or in entrepreneurship. So we developed this, we co-coordinated with industry and with our academic colleagues of what was necessary within the programmes to build those skills within our students. I think it's also important to say that the generation of students that we're now teaching, not all of them see lifelong careers in one organisation or two organisations, and actually a lot of students now want to run their own businesses alongside having a career and a professional career. And the University of East London has, through HESA data, I'm just quoting now, is we have been, the accolade we can quote is that actually the University of East London, our students are second in the country for the most amount of student startups that we're able to support through our careers guarantee. So again, I think students now and the generation that we are talking to, recruiting and admitting into our programs, they are full of ambition, but they need the confidence building to be able to be really impactful in the workplace. I think it's also important to say that my job and my team's job is at the very, very start of the journey. So the intervention when the students are actually just debating and thinking about their future, their course that they would like to study, their destination that they would like to go to, and certainly all of the work that we do around India in particular. Students are definitely, and supporters and parents are definitely focused on outcomes, so career outcome. So there is definitely got to be this this bridge and this very defined route into work. Whether that's staying with the gift of the post-study work visa at the moment, which is 18 months work experience in the UK, or taking their skills back to their own region and market or globally. Students at the very start of the journey are concerned about where they will find their career opportunities. So the whole ethos of the university, whether it's our academics in the classroom, we are teaching intensive, and all the staff that are employed in our schools. They are teaching with the knowledge that the outcome of employability is actually what we're trying to drive, and that the same is true for our professional services. Everybody at UEL knows that the work that we do is to help support like the future generation of industry. So I'm very proud that we've actually taken this initiative, and I do see it as trailblazing in the sector. There's universities have been around for a long time, and UEL has been around since 1898. We're not new to teaching, and we're not new to creating graduates and building on the success of academia, but there is something new around making sure that there's return on investment for families, and we're under no illusion the investment that families make to send their sons or daughters overseas for education, and we want to make sure that the access to our degree programs are accessible. They're at a price point that students who have the ambition and the drive and who are hardworking have the financial recourse to access, because we believe that those students are actually the future. And can make real impact in employment. So it's a really good success story. And with the creation of the India Industry Advisory Board, that really connects the dots for our prospective students, because what we were hearing a lot over the last couple of years is, yes, we hear universities talk about helping students into work, but where's the evidence? So UEL has worked really hard to bring visibility to the work that we're doing in an impactful way. Like my colleagues have talked about, the intervention that the Industry Advisory Board is having with our students, and then the alumni that we have connected with, so that the students and parents are hearing our alumni voices, actually verifying the journey that students go through to the world of work. And it's a really critical, marketing message when students are considering their destination, because again, like I said, it's a huge investment. So there's a transaction happening, there's a investment happening, and students want to know how they're going to achieve what their plans are and their ambitions are. And I think the advisory board is trailblazing. I really do. And we all know that we don't all know this, but I would just caveat by saying I spent 25 years in executive search and in headhunting before I came into education. So I understand the hiring managers ecosystem. I understand employers can actually hire not necessarily on skills or ability, but sometimes brand and preconceptions around background. And that's something that we have to overcome. And so we need to join that up with industry, which UEL has worked really hard to do.
That's really impressive, actually. And you hit the nail on the head by addressing the return on investment, which as a parent I would expect as well, even though my teenager's already 14, so I've got a long way to go. But on the note of skills, I want to turn to Shantanu and ask, what specific skills gaps have you identified, let's say in business, and what's your take on addressing these skills gaps?
Yeah. So thanks for the question, Sandy. The purpose of IAB itself in the first place is to address those gaps, I guess, and that's how it came about. And yes, there do exist some very glaring gaps when it comes to employability. So we see that yes, institutions and academic institutions specifically strive to imbibe values into the students, and also in terms of skilling them in the streams that they have chosen. Right? Whereas when you enter the real big bad world of employment or business, you see that that's not enough. Right? So what you also require is some basic skills which are ignored completely, which everyone takes for granted, thinking that everyone is born with it. Communication and also risk-taking ability, and these two things I think, set a candidate apart when they are matched on all other levels. So basically, when you talk about communication, it's not just about being able to write well or having a good vocabulary, but to address the right people the right way, and also to communicate what you have to say in a succinct manner, and write the point in that given time, because today in the real world, time is money or more than money. So we realize that. So that also becomes very important for us when we hire students, right? Be it technical or otherwise. Because yes, at entry level, you being good in your technical areas might sail you through and get you that entry level job. But if you want to grow, if you want to get into the managerial roles, you do need managerial skills. You need to exhibit, entrepreneurial skills, whether you are an entrepreneur or not, whether you are in corporate or otherwise. You have to exhibit those entrepreneurial skills, and these are something that are generally ignored. And we see that we see a flood of students coming out, but lacking these 2 or 3 very essential qualities, so to say. And that's where, when it's a choice between 3 candidates, so 2 candidates, the one with a better communication skill along with, their technical prowess, and the one who, as a junior exhibits those risk-taking abilities and, leadership qualities and, taking the bull by the horn sort of an attitude, right? They go a much longer way than the rest of them. And I don't actually, agree with calling these as soft skills, because for a long, long time, these have been ignored by grouping them under soft skills. But I would say these are skills that are as, if not more important than the technical skills and other, sector and domain-specific skills that students need. And about addressing these gaps, right? Union is in the very right direction by, by instituting IAB, Industry Advisory Board, where you get to hear from the industry experts and, from the hirers on what they are expecting. So, it's kind of working backwards and, preparing, giving that extra edge to your students, right? Without them having to invest extra time into it post their graduation and post their undergraduation. So it's taken care of during their time at UEL. So this, this interaction with industry leaders. So yes, communication can also be taught by professors, and risk-taking can be taught in a classroom. But then the interaction that UEL is facilitating with real industry experts and people doing the hiring and getting into the world of business. For example, I am there on IAB as an expert on entrepreneurship and diplomacy and strategy, and Famina is from academia and an expert on law. We have Pooja and we have Reena, who are the HR leaders. We have Chirag, who is a bookmaker, lead there. So, the diversity in the IAB board itself speaks volumes about the university's intent in bridging the gap across sectors and across domains, because the kind of these skills that you need, the top-up skills that you need to bridge the gap in each industry could be different. You can't have a blanket solution for everything, right? So having this diversity in the board itself is the first step to bridging this gap between industry, between academia and industry, and bridging the skill gap as well. Because even if it comes to technical skills as well, what is that one little extra thing? What is that one extra certification that I can get to get that edge over the other, right? So in today's competitive world, it has become imperative to have the knowledge of this, and also to be able to work within a shorter time to gain that knowledge and that skill.
That's really impressive. Hats off to the University of East London. You're really taking a lead by being very proactive and getting real-time information from the employers, from industry, and adapting as you see fit. I'm going to now turn to Dr. Fumina, as a UEL alum. Please can you share briefly your experience and provide an overview, I guess, as a former student, but also your experience in the UK?
Okay. So to add on to Chantal, I have something else also to talk about the academic perspective. So basically, when a student comes to UG degree, specifically I'm speaking about in India, either they've been forced into the subject or if they can relate to that. Yes. So you force someone to do something and then there is a disaster happening. So they end up they don't want to learn the subject and they end up not doing anything.
Yes.
So to focus on the career path, so they are messy at that point. So they don't understand what should I do, where do I end up, where will I go. So to bridge that, I think UEL has the biggest curriculum, which as alumni I want to talk also, because when I went to UK, like I was zero knowledge what UK will be and what UEL will be. And when I saw the Docklands campus, which has been by the other side of things, and my heart went off. And I was literally enjoying, and the snow started also. And I have never seen a snow in my life. And so literally it was like I was enjoying that particular moment. Though we are all home away when we are in UK and when we starting a new life there. So UL actually was a home for me, and the people there, the professors, and everything which we discussed, maybe in our lecture room or maybe in our cafeteria, it still reminds and still it's fresh in my head. And of course, I'm a UL, and I'm very happy to be actually a part of this IAB also. When I was Abhishek now, so when Abhishek just pinged me and asked, do you want to be an IAB member? I said, what? And then he said, it's just part of UEL. I said, okay. And there was no, because the brand, the name itself speaks in the University of East London. And to whomever, like, even if you say to a professor, look, I wanted to do this assignment, and they immediately say, okay, go for another opportunity, what you have. You think about something what you wanted to do, and you get me the content, and we will see how it works on a curriculum. So that is what every university needs and every student needs. In that particular thing, like I'm happy that I had a good journey, and the students who are there actually now are also having a very better journey, because I was graduated in 2010 and it's almost like a decade, and the technology has boomed, the things have changed, and to be a mentor now, I'm happy to say that, like whatever the journey, whatever the difficulties, what from the academic and what does the industry sees. So basically in the academic perspective, what we think is building a curriculum, teaching them our duty is over, but it's not that. So as Shantala said, we have to start from the scratch. I think UEL does that good pretty well. And the employment rate or the women empowerment and what it has showcased itself, because I keep following every day what's happening in UEL, and I could see all the buzz that has been created in and around our Docklands campus or maybe our Stafford campus. So it's good to see that we are on the right track.
Excellent. What a beautiful journey. So, Shantala, can I turn to you and ask you how you think IAB will evolve in the next few years, and what's your personal vision for IAB?
Yeah, I mean, Pooja has great plans for IAB in the next 3 years, and which all of us are on board on. So, about any organization or any support organization for academia, especially to
survive and thrive, the most important thing is for it to stay relevant. So for us as IAB, as the board, it is imperative that we stay relevant. So we add the right kind of people to the board. In the sense, we keep expanding our sector and domain space that our experts come from. And as Pamina was talking about, mentorship. So mentorship is something that we would really like to stress on and to really capitalize on, because when you break out from the regular classroom structure, which is also very essential, by the way, but you get a gist of the of what's happening in the real world in that masterclass or mentoring session of 1.5 hours or 2 hours. The students, for them, it's like connecting one little circuit that might be missing, in their brains, which might ignite something entirely different, right? So for us, basically the vision would be to add more experts from, keeping in mind the diversity as, we were just discussing before this, not just in terms of, not just in terms of gender and, all the regular addendums to diversity that we talk about, but also in terms of, sectors, domain knowledge, various levels of expertise and experience also, because what somebody who is a new entrant into the industry can provide as a feedback to the students will be different from what a leader who is at a director level or a CEO level can provide. So even that kind of diversity is also something we are looking at. And the vision, very clearly is not just to limit ourselves to, to say that, this is an industry advisory board for UE and doing this for UE, but, by and large for the society and for, the world at large to train people who are, who are thinking about others as well, who are thinking as a community. And in today's world where we see so much of division and, so competition doesn't have to mean division, right? So when you have an IAB board with, a vision of having about 100 people from various backgrounds working together, I think that would also reflect when it's passed down to the students in terms of working together for a common good and also to collaborate. Learning to collaborate is something, again, going back to your previous question, is a huge gap that we see across industries. So when you see collaboration happening at the IAB level, and that getting translated with the master classes and with mentoring sessions to the students, I think we'll build a better world, not just a better university and better curriculum.
Excellent, thank you for those insights. I'm loving the vision. Just on collaboration, I'm going to turn to Steph before we open up for Q&A and discussion. So clearly there is we've spoken about bridge, but there's a disconnect between industry, between government, between university, which I know you're working incredibly hard to narrow that gap. How can we have a more joined up model or framework that is more collaborative, not only involves the industry, the university, the government, but also the student? Any kind of thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I mean, I personally believe, and I know my colleagues on the Industry Advisory Board, our executive board at the university, we know and believe that degrees don't fail students, the system does. And like I said, I worked in executive search and headhunting in London for 25 years. I understand what goes on behind the scenes in large organisations and SMEs. And hiring managers can, as I said previously, hire on brand. You know, they can say, I only want to interview graduates from X, Y, and Z university. And that saddens me because, you know, hiring managers are recruiting for familiarity, I guess, and maybe looking at polish over potential. And I know from the work that myself and my team does, like I said at the very start of the journey, when we are going into schools, we're going to talk at recruitment expos across India. The students just are so ambitious here and extremely hardworking. So I think for me, it's the gap between universities being the deliverer of education and employers opening the gateway to careers, and which is what the work that has been done with the 2,500 employers that we are engaged with and our industry advisory board is to close that gap so that students have opportunity. And, you know, back when my career was starting out, it was very easy to get in front of an employer, look them in the eyes and show them your potential. Young people now, graduates now, don't get that opportunity because AI, for all its greatness, and we use it every day in all of our personal lives and at work, it's the barrier to young people finding and identifying a job. And, you know, I've seen it with our students. I've also got personal experience as a parent. I've got a 24-year-old and a 21-year-old. And, you know, coming out of education, trying to find and identify work as a home student was challenging, never mind an international student where there could be differing cultures, different kind of methods and means to securing interviews. I think it's sad that the recruitment industry and the hiring journey now for either your first job, second or third, is so AI driven. So the impact on students is there's no human intervention. So they don't know why they're not getting through to the next round in the shortlisting process. And many employers, their actual job is to knock students out of the process. They don't want to be assessing you. And so therefore, you know, there's this query around, like I said, polish over potential. Like, you know, we need to break that barrier down for our students. And I think having our industry advisory board, having a network that enables the education UEL delivers to be actually impactful in the workplace is part of the bridge. I just think we need a new contract in the UK between government, between universities and between industry, because, you know, we are out marketing University of East London as a great proposition for Indian students, a great, we've got accolades that, you know, demonstrate that we have outstanding teaching quality. We have third-party testimonies from our students who themselves have rated UEL as #1 in England, #1 in London, and 3rd in the UK for student experience. But if that doesn't then correlate into work, then it's back to the ROI. So it's really important, I think, so yes, I think there's a new contract required across the sector where, you know, we are as a university selling an outcome that we actually can't control.
Yes.
Unless we co-create things like the industry advisory board, where we have people in positions of authority within organisations who are able to help support the hiring process, able to help our students build a network, because I know personally myself, like for the last 30 years, my network has been everything and it's helped me in my career. And the same is true for young people now. Like, we can't rely on AI and online work or connections. There's nothing that replaces human intervention. I still believe that. So I think that's the work that actually now needs to be done in the next stage. And I do think government and industry needs to be much more visible in that, because again, like I said, we can't be responsible for the outcome, but we're trying our best to drive it.
Yeah.
In I guess, a context that's very, very challenging.
Yeah.
And not within our gift to control.
So,
Yeah.
more alignment. Did you want to quickly before we wrap up?
Yeah, so one important thing, I mean, very good points there, Steph, and one important thing which helps us bridge this gap is also the internships that IIB members bring to the board in our own companies and our own network. So the students, this is something that the students don't need to go out hunting. The hunting for entrepreneur, for internships, be it with entrepreneurs or be it with corporate and the industry, will be brought to the to the table by the IAB members, and it's for the picking for the students to prove themselves and get those internships, and which will be which will set them apart by a mile or more when it comes to employability, getting that first job.
Excellent, thank you. We've got time for one question. I'm so sorry. One question? Anyone? Please, yeah. Could we have a mic? Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we heard from the university that how they are trying to equip students before they hit the job market. I would like to get your perspective, Sandy, as you yourself independent higher education consultant. You must be hiring these fresh graduates. What is it actually you are looking for, or what do you think that universities should be doing, in terms of equipping these graduates before they hit the job market?
Excellent. Thank you for your question. So first of all, I would say follow what UEL do, pinch their strategy. Second thing I would say is universities need to stop playing lip service. They need to actually do what they say they're going to do. Students from wherever corner of the world that are coming to study in the UK, and we very much welcome them, absolutely deserve return on investment. So before they actually engage with the agent, engage in that journey, they should be aware of what employability prospects there are, what support there will be. I actually think that's sometimes even more important than how much you're going to charge for the course fee. So I definitely think the university is leading in this space, and I do think other universities are doing lots of great things, but it's just not, the visibility is not there. I also really think the links with the employers, the internships that you mentioned, all of that is setting the university apart. But that's the kind of information that parents and students really need at their fingertips when they're making decisions, especially in this competitive market that we're operating in. I hope that helps. I'm going to ask you to join me and thank my panelists and bring this to a close. Thank you. I can send it to her. Is that right? I can send it. Yeah, I'll send it because they've got to go. They've got another session.
Please let me know when you're next in London. Thank you. Let me, we can have dinner. I mean, I've just come from there actually. We're the hosting by the yeah. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, but I eat it.
Great to see you in town.
கார்டு ரெடியா வச்சுக்கோ கார்டு ரெடியா வச்சுக்கோ கார்டு ரெடியா வச்சுக்கோ அப்படியே நான் பார்த்தேன் இது என்ன ஆடியோ அப்படியே
ஸோ இப்போ டொயோட்டால இருந்து பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா டயர்லேருந்து ஸ்விட்சஸ்லேருந்து ஸ்டியரிங்லேருந்து சீட்டிங்லேருந்து completely like we are the supply for Toyota, not only for Toyota, like Hyundai, Maruti, and also for Audi and BMW. So I'm heading HR for South, about handling about around 15 manufacturing units. So majorly as a HR, we do a lot of campus hiring, and I'm passionate in chatting towards with students for their career development and their career progressions. And that's it about me.
Thank you.
Thank. வணக்கம். சூப்பர். என் பேர் ஷாஜ். நான் வந்து ஒரு ஸ்வீடிஷ் கம்பெனியில் ஹெச்ஆராக ஒர்க் பண்ணுறேன். ஓகே, ஐ ஹெட் த ஹெச்ஆர் தேர். இந்த பேனல்ஸ் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா எல்லாருமே டிஃப்ரெண்ட் ஃபீல்டில் எக்ஸ்பர்ட்ஸ் எல்லாமே வந்திருக்காங்க. ஸோ ஐ கேன் see lot of college students here. இவங்க என்னென்ன ஷேர் பண்ணுறாங்களோ எல்லாமே நல்லபடியாக எடுத்துக்கோங்க. இல் ரியலி பி ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல் ஃபார் யூ இன் யோர் கேரியர். பாயிண்ட் நம்பர் 1. ஓகே, நான் ஒர்க் பண்ணுற கம்பெனி வந்து ஸ்வீடிஷ் கம்பெனினால வி கேட்டர் டு த ஸ்காண்டினேவியன் மார்க்கெட். ஸ்வீடன், நார்வே, டென்மார்க் அந்த ரீஜனில் இருக்க கம்பெனிஸ்க்கு நிறைய பேருக்கு வி டூ லாட் ஆஃப் சாஃப்ட்வேர்ஸ். வி ஆர் நாட் டிபெண்டன்ட் ஆன் த யூஎஸ் மார்க்கெட், டச் வுட். இப்படி இருக்கும்போது என்னோட ரெக்ரூட்மெண்ட்ஸ் நாங்கள் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வி கோ டவுன் சவுத் அண்ட் டேக் டயர் 2, டயர் 3, அதாவது திருச்சிக்கு நடுவில் கரூர் வேறு அந்த ஊரில் இருந்து தான் போய் நாங்கள் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் எடுப்போம். ஸோ ஒன் குட் திங் இஸ்
இருக்கு எங்களுக்கு வேணும் அந்த டேலண்ட்டை நீங்க அதுக்கு ஏத்த மாதிரி உங்களை எக்யூப் பண்ணிட்டு அப்ஸ்கில் பண்ணிட்டு வந்தீங்கன்னா ஃபியூச்சர் நல்லபடியா ரெண்டு பேத்துக்குமே நல்லா இருக்கும். With this, I'll pass it on to
my name is Susindran, Dr. Susindran. I'm from Tata, TCS, and I'm a technology person, moved to HR long back. I'm still doing technology plus HR. And I closely work with a lot of the universities, colleges, India and abroad to bridge the gap, whatever we are talking about, the skilling and industry academia gap, so that students they can get into companies like TCS and other companies. Quickly they can get in, and that is a role which we are doing, and into campus placements and advising college, I think faculty, management on what to do. That is what we do, and looking forward to share insights from us to all of you so that you can listen and take 1 or 2 points that will be useful to you. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for the introductions. I think we're going to leave more time for questions as we're so fortunate to have such an expert panel, and I want to give all of the students an opportunity to ask questions as well. So if each of you can really talk about what can be done to better equip students whilst they're at the university. As we discussed earlier, what's being taught isn't necessarily reality. So if each of you could just comment, maybe starting with yourself, as to, from your perspective, what could be done better to equip the young youth of today?
Yeah, thank you for the wonderful question, Sandy. And so the college life is different. And everyone is talking about this industry academia gap, right? What you study in college is theory, industry expecting is totally different, right? It's been there for at least 30 years, since I'm in the industry for 30 years. 30 years we are talking about the same issue, right? But a lot of initiatives are done by companies like us and government, current government through non-Mudalvan scheme, right? I think a lot of things are done to bridge the gap, so that I think all of you get job or you can start your own company when you graduate, right? I think that is what all of us are trying to do in a small way. The future, right? How many of you know AI? How many of you use AI? ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, all of you use daily. At least daily. If you are stuck up, you are asking some question to AI, right? The future, whatever the industry is asking is, we want you to learn anything in no time. Because today, whatever you study in computer language, programs, or even some new concepts, by the time you come out, after 3 years, 2 years, things will change dramatically, right? So one skill all of us want is learnability. How quickly you can learn is a very, very, very important. I think we have a lot of tools. I think at least when we study, I think we used to go and refer a lot of books. But at your fingertips, you have all the ChatGPTs, all the Gemini, Claude, even whatever it is, the Kiwi, whatever new things are coming, right? So that is there. How soon you can learn and apply that in your project, like a one project to a mini project. One skill thing if you can pick up, and that skill, whether it is today that skill is there, tomorrow it will be there. But how quickly you will learn, how you can learn with AI, work with AI these are the two things I would say what we need now.
Excellent. So it's that combination of using AI within your skill sets. Thank you. Please.
You're also arts and science, இல்லையா? உங்களுக்கு எத்தனை பேருக்கு ஒரு ஃபீலிங் இருக்கு நம்ம ஒரு கம்ப்யூட்டர் சயின்ஸ் பண்ணாதான் ஐடில வர முடியும், ஒரு பிடெக் ஐடி எம்எஸ்சி கம்ப்யூட்டர் சயின்ஸ் பிஎஸ்சி கம்ப்யூட்டர் சயின்ஸ் பண்ணாதான் வர முடியும், ஆர்ட்ஸ் அண்ட் சயின்ஸ்ல இருந்து வர முடியாதுன்ற ஒரு ஐயப்பாடு இருக்கா? பிக் கொஸ்டின் மார்க், இஸ் தேர் a question mark in your mind? Yes, the gentleman who is raising their hands. See, the world has changed, okay? முன்னாடிலாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா there used to be advertisements in paper. 80% இருக்கணும், அரியர்ஸ் இருக்கக்கூடாது, இந்த ப்ரீமியர் இன்ஸ்டியூட்ல படிச்சிருக்கணும் எல்லாம் இருந்தது. It kept changing as days went by. It kept changing. இப்போ கான்செப்டே டோட்டலா மாறிடுச்சு. டிகிரி இஸ் நாட் அ பிக் திங். For my company where I recruit, நான் அரியர் இருந்தாலும் நான் எடுத்துட்டு இருக்கேன். Others might differ, but I'm telling you, skill தான் இப்போ இம்பார்ட்டன்ட்மா. The best important thing what you guys have to do is develop a skill. At first said, உங்களுக்கு நிறைய டூல்ஸ் வந்துருச்சு. If you guys are very really interested, நீங்க எந்த டெக்னாலஜிக்கு வேணாலும் வரலாம், எந்த பேக்ரவுண்ட்ல இருந்தாலும் வரலாம். When we do recruit people from down south, ஒரு நான் போய் ரெக்ரூட் பண்றப்ப அப்பா அம்மா என்ன பண்றாங்கன்னா கூலி தொழில் பண்றாங்கன்னு அது மாதிரி பசங்களை நாங்கள் பிக் பண்ணுவோம். ஆட்டிடியூட் நல்லா இருக்கா, கத்துக்கணுன்ற எண்ணம் இருக்கா, we don't take these children, we guide them, we tell them how to learn. நிறைய பேருக்கு எங்க போய் படிக்கணும்னு தெரியாம இருக்கு. எத்தனை பேருக்கு எப்படி படிக்கணும்னு தெரியாம இருக்கீங்க? Can you raise your hands? Be open.
What to study, what எங்க போனா எது learn பண்ணணும். This will be there in a lot of your mind. Okay, come out of it. You are not in our contacts are there. You will surely do it. So the world is going towards skill. It's skill தான் முக்கியம். படிப்பு காலேஜ் எல்லாமே டிஃபரெண்ட். உங்களோட இண்டிவிஜுவல் தனித்துவம், உங்களோட நல்ல ஆட்டிடியூட் எனக்கு கத்துக்கணுன்ற ஒரு ஆர்வம். If you have this passion, if you have the time and your belly to want to come up in life, you want to learn, and this will bring a change in you, and it can be done. Your degree doesn't matter, actually speaking. You want to learn, you need to learn new technologies, and where you want to go, you can go.
Thank you. Very excellent points.
Excellent. Learn Tamil now. Whatever tools spoken Tamil, excellent point.
A bit of Hindi and Punjabi, so I could relate to what you were saying, but degree still serves a value, but I hear you on the skills.
See, as far as I'm concerned, the skill and knowledge, it's all differs from industry to industry. The requirement of IT will be different. So I'm from automobile industry. Whatever they required and the skill set or competency will not apply to me. Right? So in that sense, what I feel is, we found like whenever we go for a campus hiring for many engineering industries, we found out gaps between evolving need of an industry and the curriculum.
Yes.
Okay, which I feel like that needs to be bridged. The gap has to be bridged. Wherever we go, even after the student with higher percentage, even after we hire also, again we need to go for a training. Again, we need to mold him according to the need of my industry, about need of my product. So in that sense, what we have done is we started putting an agreement with a lot of colleges, and we are putting our center of excellence in the college, where we are putting our own curriculum also to be a part of their curriculum. So which it's easy for us to develop a student during their studies, and it is easy for them also to come and come to the industry. And also what I feel is as what today morning the discussion has, it should not be a classroom type of thing. The students needs to be placed in industries. At least in 3 years, at least 1 year, they have to be in the industry. They should understand the culture of an industry, how it runs, all this thing which is required, where we can use the gap between the academic and the industry.
So a focus on work readiness and preparing. Yeah, thank you so much.
I'm going to talk about the power of three. As college students, predominantly, we forget these 3 points. The first one is, it's not just for college students, it's for anyone. You have to learn, you have to unlearn, and you have to relearn. That should be the culture today. Gone are the days where I thought, okay, I got a degree. Today I have an MBA. I don't have to know anything else. No. MBA will be redundant in less than 1 year or 2 years. What are you going to learn next? It could be a very small skill, but does it give you employability opportunities? the right contacts. If only you know how to go speak. நான் போய் எப்படி இவங்க கிட்ட பேசுறது? ஐயோ எனக்கெல்லாம் இது வராது. Maximum what can you do? Make a mistake. If you make a mistake, don't worry, they'll forget. Go ahead, take this opportunity, expand your network. Don't forget to learn, unlearn, and relearn in your life so that this formal education will be there for you forever. Thank you.
Great takeaways. Thank you so much. And confidence. Okay. And this is actually too heavy for me. Now I must want the questions. And I'm wondering what the title is. But anyway, since this is a student audience and I want to keep it close to what I feel, please. Yeah. So everybody has a different question paper. In semester exam in life, both in practical and personal life as well as in professional life. We'll be attending a lot of sessions like this, and we share the perspective from our side. Only you are the best decision maker. Right? I am not opposing any of the thoughts these experts are saying or the expert is going to say about or all the sessions that you have attended. So the question paper is different. The only ask that I place, which I've learned and I'm still learning, is approach anything with a 360-degree angle. Right? You may see one with one perspective right now. Just approach it with a holistic approach, you call it, right? Ella angle, from all perspectives, please approach. Because the curriculum which our Tamil Nadu government has is one of the best. Okay, but we have not applied our mind to look into it. I am from Tamil Nadu State Board and we are not from a CBSE student. I am from Tamil Nadu State Board and thanks for clapping person. So every lesson we have activities, to-do list, but we just think we have to memorize the answer and then write it in the exam. I know for marks we will need to do that, but for life we will need to understand the concepts. So each of us write a different question paper, not in our exams but in our life. So you are the decision maker. Please make use of the curriculum that we are having in. 360-degree approach would be the best, and decide yourself and wishing you all the best. Thank you so much.
Vanakkam. I learned from others. Learning is this. India particular, probably 30, 40 years ago, we were looking like a place where we can make things at a lower cost. IT industry thrived because we were providing people at a lower cost. All of us at our age, we all started like that. But if you look at it, over a period of time, that has moved from being cheap to probably being innovative, creative. So today, many of the people here, they are all actually getting talent which is very capable of creating new designs. Okay. நீங்கள் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு 40 வருஷம் முன்னாடி இருந்த ஒரு 20 year இருக்கும் உங்களுக்கும் பெரிய டிஃபரன்ஸ் இல்லை. All of us had the same knowledge, same capability, same many things. But the point is, we needed that bit extra to succeed, and today everything is at your disposal. Your smartphones are in your hand. You can do anything, you can do wonders because you are equal to somebody else sitting in California. You have this access to the same stuff. That is the biggest leveler for us. That we should keep in mind. But I personally feel, if I'm looking at the topic which you are talking about, we were actually intending to talk about talent for the globe. That is the topic. Not about what you're doing. இப்போ நீங்க படிக்கிறது வந்து எப்படி வந்து ஒரு உலகளாவிய விஷயத்துல வந்து நீங்க நாளைக்கு இங்க உட்கார்ந்து from here itself you can service somebody elsewhere or you can also go there. But how do you empower yourself for that? I will tell you one important thing that we all have as people. Every race has some personality traits. I personally feel that as a race, why did Sardar Narendra, Indira Gandhi, or Sundar Pichai, who are people from Soviet, there are another 150 people who have become CEOs, Arangam Krishna, and so many people. I don't know if you heard of it. Why? I personally feel that we have something which is very human, where we have ability to handle multiple cultures. We are ourselves a very diverse culture in the country, and Cholas have dealt with from South India to probably Indonesia. Multiple languages, so we have a DNA. All of you in this hall, youngsters have that DNA. And which also another plus that we have is we are very empathetic. We always understand others' problem. Why I'm saying that is, I tell you, BCom, there are about 9 to 10 lakh students passing, doing BCom every year in India. Everybody gets the same 65 to 85% marks. What is the difference? The difference is not, the syllabus is the same. All of you with some knowledge, very serious or not, but after 5 years you will be working well in some place or other. But what will create the difference to be up there to reach a global stage? Create those extra things. It could be your AI. Don't worry about AI. You all already will be using AI much better than us because you are going with your smartphones. But be more serious about it. Don't just use it for playing or just taking random answers. Become more serious about it. I tell you, you will be much more empowered. And I envy you guys because I didn't have that. We were looking at some photocopies of some man from coming from elsewhere after 3 years of gap. If a product was launched in US, we would see it after 3 years. Today you are seeing it instantaneously because you have a smartphone, you are very well digitally connected. I think I just have had random thoughts I'm just sharing with you, but you have all that it takes to get empowered in your hands. Don't lose that out. And be prepared for global initiatives. Don't settle for anything less. Even sitting here, you will be leading with global companies. Okay, all the best.
Thank you. It's very empowering. Lots of very useful tips. Thank you. So when we're thinking about talent and the workforce, whether that's within India or whether that's global, as we've got such an expert panel, I'd really like to ask you to share with the students some of your kind of personal tips. I know you've talked a bit about skills already, but in order for them to be successful, things they should bear in mind. And any of you that want to comment on internships and the role that internships play, and if your organisations offer such internships and the value, but more importantly, how can they access such internships? So should we start from this way and go round? Thank you.
See, internships again is something which all students should aspire for. I know it's difficult. It's a huge population of students coming out of colleges. It's not so easy for every company to have everybody as an intern. It is difficult. But what is important is even if it's for a short duration, ensure that you get that experience of how it is to be in an office. You will feel that when you go in an office, this is the way it will work. What you studied in class will be immediately, the syllabus-oriented stuff will be used. No. You will find already a gap between the time you leave college and you enter. You may finish college in June and enter in 15 days time you will be in your first job. But when you go there, you will find that whatever I learned is not straight away useful, or possibly a lot more we learned. So the ability, somebody said that learning ability, you must have the ability to continuously learn, and part of that is the internship process. Okay, and that will expose you. And certainly, I think companies which I run also, we all have internship slots, but it's for you to reach out. But one important thing is you should also show the interest to get into a career. It's not the internship is not one more classroom session. And many times people feel, I come there, I sit there, somebody will come and teach me. No, you will have to go through an experience. Okay, and today there are many other things which are all certificates are available online. Get into it. I'll tell you something, it's like I know a subject, but when I get certified, it is like getting a license for driving a car. You could be driving a car well, but when you get your license, then you are endorsed. That is somebody that gives confidence to somebody saying yes, this person can drive because it's already endorsed. That's important too. Yeah.
It is a life change, and this is where the learn, unlearn, and relearn comes into play. Kavita, please.
Okay, maybe I add to what he says, and internship is not a tick the box part. Okay, we normally take something to school, college, and it's mandatory, so we are picking it up. So no longer internship or any activity that you do is tick the box type of category. Tick the box na pannalangiradhukaga pandrathu kadiyadhu. Second is all the organizations, including ours, host that in our portal itself. Please go through well in advance. We offer summer internships 3 to 6 months time. And as sir has rightly pointed out, please have some intention or inclination to add value to what you're doing. At the end of the day, if something comes out of you, there has to be a value that has to be added from it. Even if it is 1%, that is fine. That is not only at the stage of student, the student activities coordinate பண்ணும்போதும் சரி, or even if you become an intern, or even as an employee, even as a daughter or a son, please add value to whatever you are doing. That means you will apply your 360 degree, add your creativity or your specialty into it, and you add value to it. So internship first one, please apply in all the organizations, everybody has it online. There are many portals that are available. I see something is getting launched now, only internships, which is exclusively for internship, where you can register yourself in the college, from the college side or from your side, and the organization will pick up from there on. And I did most of my internships in cable shops, cable connection and in connection. So that, and I even went for one of the provision store, neighbor provision store. So it was easy for me to pick up some numbers and 5 items I can memorize. You can wonder why that is so, but it's basically to handle 5 people at a stretch is quite an easy task. So it's not about where you do, it's about how you do and what is the value you're trying to add out of it. May I just ask, how competitive are these internships? Right. Or does it from technology perspective? Industry. All right. Okay. And that's, I think she's adding a global flavor to it. Yes. Yes. Right. So, for example, global organizations are also providing internships where we have to apply from here. We have to check for the eligibility conditions. Maybe 12 plus 3 will not be workable in many instances. So we have to complete your UG, and after you complete your post graduation, you can go in for an internship. And there, I think it's vis-a-vis better. While in India, when that's where we are coming from, so foreign students, when they are coming to India, we don't take it, other than the VIE program, we treat them as employee, equivalent of employees only. So we don't have something specific for that. And, but however, there are relaxed thresholds that are applicable for foreign students who are taking up internship. But rest of it, we go through the VIE plan, similar to VIE plans. Other than that, we don't have an exclusive internship program. Thank you so much. Thank you. There are 2 things I want to talk about now. I'm sorry I'm coming up with numbers again and again. First it was 3, now it's 2. So one up or the first thing is expectation versus reality. What I see in the industry is when students come, I referred one person for an internship to an organization, and I knew from the person to whom he was referred to, that friend came back and said, hey Arun, the internship எடுத்துக்கல. And I was wondering, why did this boy take this internship? And I went and asked him, why did you take this internship? And he said, ma'am, அவங்க வந்து எனக்கு அப்புறம் வேலை கொடுக்க மாட்டேன்னு சொன்னாங்க மேம். இது internship போகலாம். அதுக்கு வந்து வேலை கன்ஃபார்மா வேணும். So your expectation is, don't assume that when you start an internship, you're going to get hired by the company. No, it's not a probation period. And many companies today are offering you internships as part of their program as well, so that we enable the community to ensure they have a corporate flavor. Doesn't mean you're going to get recruited directly. This is one part. The second part is, many of them do internships, just as she was saying, only for the sake of marks. Move from marks to experience. When I was in college, I did my internship in costing, the very first project in Madras University to be done in the field of costing. I did my costing project for a metal halide manufacturing lamp company in MEPS. So when I started this project, everybody discouraged me saying there is no background to this project. I said, let me create history now. You either have to have background and then do a project, or create history so that tomorrow somebody is going to follow you. Be there, courageously, go step on. Don't expect the world is going to come serve you. You are going to fall, you are going to fail. But only when you're willing to raise from where you are, you're going to really see the world that's there outside for you. And what internships are going to provide for you is an opportunity for you to connect with these corporates. I don't know how you got this opportunity to come to this program today. If not, can you really access this kind of a learning connect? That's what it says here, learn, connect, impact. Can you learn, connect and create an impact in your life? Take every opportunity seriously, even if it's a 2-week internship program. And don't expect to go for bigger companies, you can even start with smaller companies. That's where your real learning is. Departmental store கத்துக்கிறத விட அண்ணாச்சி கடையில நிறைய கத்துக்கலாம். That's where your learning is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Acts as a springboard to many things. Thank you.
How many of them have undergone internship here?
Oh,
To the companies?
that's good. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Right. See, as far as internship is concerned, it molds you. Okay. Academic, college, society பார்க்கறது வேற, but once you get into an organization for a internship, it teaches you a lot. நிறைய விஷயங்கள் உங்களால கத்துக்க முடியும். As what Mom has told, like, it gives you an experience, how to handle people, how to speak to the people, how to speak to your superior, how to speak to your colleagues. Okay, how you are treated. As an internship, how many of them, like, experience on your office, I'm the smoke on the feel good. Okay, like a college, like a professor, nobody will teach you. You have to learn on your own. Okay, that is one which, many colleges, if you could see in UG, professors used to teach you for each and every subject. But when you get into post-graduations, you have to go to a library, professor college, class but whereas, based on our subject, you have to go to library, you have to learn on your own. Right? The same kind of experience gets into the industry also. And that here, you have a lot of choices. Earlier, when the engineer company will go for a job. If it's an arts and science, TNPS, UPSC, a government exam. Am I right? But whereas now, even in the arts and science schools have a lot of choices. Okay, nobody is going for a job based on their academics. Okay, because I have a passion, they choose their career based on their passion. Somebody can get into a travel industry, somebody is getting into a service-based industry. So choices may vary. Wherever you get an opportunity to get an internship, learn it. So you go through a lot of learnings that gives you an experience. So once you complete your studies, your academics, it could be easy for you to decide to which profession I should get into it. So that's why an internship is very important. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I'll take from the point where Chandramohan told, internship, passion to see, degree, as I said earlier, degree doesn't matter nowadays. It's more of skill and your passion, your learning curve, everything matters a lot. So, try internship 100%. You will come to life. Point number one. Point number two, internship 100% we can't assure you. You don't take us for granted. If you get it, God bless you have got it. Do it well. One more thing, இது பாசிட்டிவிட்டி என்னன்னு பார்க்கணும். எந்த வாழ்க்கையில் இருந்தாலும் அதுல என்ன பாசிட்டிவ் இருக்குன்னு பார்க்கணும். பார்க்கும்போது எங்களுக்கு as a HR ஒரு கம்பெனி நாங்க ஒர்க் பண்றப்ப திடீர்னு ஒரு 10 இன்டர்ன்ஸ் வராங்க, ஒர்க் பண்றாங்க. அந்த 10ல ஒரு 3 பிள்ளைங்க ரொம்ப நல்லா ஒர்க் பண்ணுது. They are very sharp. வெரி ஷூட் சொன்னா அப்படியே கத்துற மாதிரி பிடிச்சிக்கிறாங்க, பண்றாங்க, ரிப்போர்ட்ஸ் அனுப்புறாங்க, எல்லாம் அந்த ஒர்க் அட்மாஸ்பியர்ல என்னென்ன பண்ண முடியுமோ they go the extra mile to deliverன்ற மாதிரி ஒரு 3 கேண்டிடேட் பார்த்தீங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. Do you think we will leave them? We are HR sitting in a company, our boss is paying us money to recruit the right talent. So you have got an opportunity to come into an office, sit with the crowd, work along with them, see how they work and things like that. And the opportunity miss பண்ணீங்கன்னா அதோட பெரிய தப்பு எதுவுமே இல்லை. So there at that time, இவங்கெல்லாம் சொல்ல மாட்டாங்க, மார்க்குக்காகவோ எதுக்காகவோ வராதீங்க. Come with a passion, drive, and you want to fulfill your அந்த வெறித்தனமா நீங்க பண்ணீங்கன்னா 100% அவங்க எடுப்பாங்க. அப்படி இல்லைன்னா அந்த HR என்ன தெரியுமா சொல்றாங்க, we all are connected, we all go for talks to a lot of colleges. This panel, most of us, we all go. For sure we can put you on day. நான் ஒரு candidate பார்த்தேன் ultimate try. You better take that person in room. Panics, as others said, panics matters a lot. And this internship is important in your life. Take it seriously and go the extra mile to deliver where you will be noticed.
Great tips. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And finally,
See, we, TCS, Tata Group, we give a lot of internships. I think we, TCS itself, we annually, I give around 4,000 internships, and conservatively, I think we want to increase it to 10,000 internships in a year. But nevertheless, I think we are also struggling like the way others are saying, right? We cannot bring all of you into our company. So we are thinking about remote internships, center of excellence, and that kind of models. That is it. And we also bring people from the Tata Global Internships. We give internships to the global students who are coming across the world to India, and we put them through different companies of Tata Group. And that is also, through them we also learn. I think that is it's a very important aspect which I see. So that is an internship, traditional internship for all of you. Even I think one of my colleagues, she put her son who's studying in 7th standard in an internship with a cycle repair shop. Okay? You might think, why 7th standard student is doing an internship or what kind of thing in a cycle repair shop. And she is giving her 100 rupees to that cycle repair shop owner. Give it to my son. And whenever the one day work, I think give it to him. Actually, these are the skills which you need to put and log it. I think I'm not saying how you have to do it. Your brother or sisters, I think if they can start early, document it. By the time they come to college, if they can show, yeah, I put my internship in Anachi Kalai. I think I learned something, how to sell, how to interact with people. All of them are, I think, a skill. Right? I think it is not just your accountancy or computer science internships matters. I think all these skills, the curiosity, the learning which you do with interacting with various people, right? I think these are very important. If we had done maybe 6-7 internships like that, when we come for campus interview or when you apply for internship in companies like us, we will see, okay, they wanted an experience. They have done these things in their early career or school or the college, the first year, second year itself, then we will give. That is how you need, because like sir was mentioning, 15 lakh students are coming out of engineering colleges, right? And almost more than that is coming, I think double or triple coming out of arts and science colleges. You need to have internship, right? So we need to see what you have done so far to give you an internships. So that is my small, I think, few cents. One is try to get experience in various fields, various industries. Because the one thing which I want to talk about is we are running a Bharat hackathon in the last 2 weeks. What it means is for arts and science colleges, non-engineering students, and non-English speaking also. Right? We have developed a tool in which I think arts and science students will be taught AI. And they have built an application in computer science software in maybe 40 minutes through your prompt. And so far we covered 6,000 students, the family level. And one of the colleges in Coimbatore, I think 780 applications as software, I think small applications were developed into 1 hour by arts and science students through prompting only. So that's it, because what we need is how to ask questions, how to, the curiosity, the creativity plays a major role. So if we get varied experience from all these, like whatever we said, right? On Anachikada or some accounting, small shop, if you can do how they are doing it, how to do sales, maybe on automobile engineering, a cycle repair shop, or mobile repair shop. If you get varied experience, you will be able to build such things. The reason why Elon Musk is Elon Musk now, he is able to build or think totally different ideas. Because he got relevant experience, he read a lot. Right? So that is what internship is all about. And if you can do, and if you have done similar thing what you are doing, definitely I will offer some internship to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think what's coming through as a common theme is the skills that you can equip yourself with whilst you go into these internships or other opportunities. I'm going to pause for one or two really quick questions from the audience, and then I'd like you to join me to thank the panel. Can we have some mics, please? Or could you just stand? Maybe I don't know whether people are. Thank you.
internship சொல்றீங்க internship myself I'm Velavendran planning commission planning officer state planning commission internship education employment இதுக்கு என்னன்னா break even point இருக்கான்னு சிஸ்டத்துல ஏன்னா 100 meters ஓடுறவங்களோட ஸ்டார்டிங் பாயிண்ட் வேற 400 meters ஓடுறவங்களோட ஸ்டார்டிங் பாயிண்ட் வேற டிகிரி வரைக்கும் கம்ப்யூட்டர் சயின்ஸ் படிச்சவங்களுக்கு அந்த கோடிங் ஃபேக்டர் எல்லாம் தெரியும் அவங்க தே கேன் கம்பீட் அந்த பேசிக்கா பிஏ படிச்சவங்க இல்லை இன்ஜினியரிங் பேக்ரவுண்ட்ல இருப்பாங்க பட் சயின்ஸ் பேக்ரவுண்டே இருக்காது அவங்களுக்கு அந்த எஃபிஷியன்சி குறைச்சலா இருக்கும் ஆனா நீங்க செலக்ட் பண்றப்போ பேஸ்ட் ஆன் தேர் அவுட்புட் நீங்க சேலரி பிக்சேஷன் அந்த பேஸ்ல தான் பண்றீங்க அவங்களோட ஆனா எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு மை ஓன் சன் பிஇ மெக்கானிக்கல் பண்ணா அவன் வந்து இன்ஃபோசிஸ்ல என்ட்ரி ஆகலாம் அவனுக்கு கம்ப்யூட்டர் பத்தி ஒன்றும் தெரியாது என்ட்ரி ஆயிட்டான் பேஸ்ட் ஆன் இன்டர்வியூ அதுக்கப்புறம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா அவன் ஒரு சப்ஜெக்ட்ல 100 மார்க்ஸ் எடுத்து நவ் இஸ் டூயிங் வெரி வெல் இன் இன்ஃபோசிஸ் அப்ப நீங்க டேலண்ட்டை எந்த பேஸ்ல இருந்து எடுக்கிறீங்க இன்டர்ன்ஷிப்பா அவங்களோட ஸ்கில் டெவலப்மெண்ட்ல இருந்தா எந்த பேஸ்ல மார்க் பேஸ்லயா இல்ல பர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் பேஸ்லயா எந்த பேஸ்ல நீங்க பண்ணிருக்கீங்க பண்றீங்க இந்த சிஸ்டம் பண்ணுது
I'm going to ask a couple of colleagues to answer like literally 10 seconds, 20 seconds max, and our panel they're available afterwards as well. Who would like to
10
comment?
seconds is a very, very less time, but okay. So,
20 seconds then.
so each company has its own process. I think typically, I think we look at as the skill is one important thing which all the companies are looking at, and that is what we talked about. Skilling is very, very important. One skill, deep dive. I think it is maybe with the same skill, one internship. All of these are combining. I think it is not just I have done our certification. No, certification is an entry. Then how deep I think knowledge you have is very important for recruitment. That is, but before that we have other criteria like the cognitive ability or the learnability which I was talking about, the filtering criteria. Finally, what we select on basis of the skill and the knowledge he has. That is what we want to look at it.
Thank you.
One more question, sir. So it said internship. What if it is my idea only, create virtual internship, sir?
I think you already answered. Already students and government. It's already happening. It's already happening.
Okay. Okay. So because I was left behind, instead of government correspondence
With the population, that is possibly the way. One thing which I should tell the first question thing. I'll tell you, even if a person gets in, if in 3 months' time he's useless, he'll be out. So there is nothing, I mean, there is a judgment that the HR people use that whether the person is capable. Okay, mark is not the criteria. That's only an entity of survey with. If he fails in 3 months' time, he'll be out. So people have to be very competent. Other than that,
I've seen Rashford dressing up.
I need an international level banana. So when become of international, when latest technology make our world in a single view shall actually focus. Our binocular world, not even a stable country. It's not at all theoretical.
அந்த பின்னாடி உட்காந்துருக்கும் முக்கியமா இது
எஸ்
நம்ம இந்தியோட புரிதலோட அவங்க புரிதல் தான் முக்கியம் புரிஞ்சிருச்சு
One point to what he said, நீங்க வந்து இன்ஃபோசிஸ்ல கம்ப்யூட்டர் தெரியாம உள்ள நுழைஞ்சதே பெரிய சக்சஸ். So that is the main point there. I wanted to point that one out. Computer தெரியாம உள்ள நுழைஞ்சு 100 marks எடுக்கிறாருன்னா the very same point that everybody touched base was he's built his competency in that field where we didn't know.
Ma'am, that's what I am telling. See, talent வந்து நீங்க வந்து from the beginning ல இருந்து ஓடுறவங்க எல்லாருமே first வர முடியாது. யாராவது கம்பெனி வந்து பிசினஸ்க்காக நிறுத்துறோம். நீங்க வந்து ஓடுறது குதிரைகள்லாம் நீங்க சொல்றீங்களே உள்ள போய் ஓடணும். அதுதான் சொல்றோம். All the youngsters should prepare themselves like that. You cannot say அவங்களுக்கு advantage கொடுக்க முடியாது. கொடுக்க வேண்டாம். இல்ல இது ஆஃப்லைன் எடுத்துப்போம். We can discuss it directly.
I want to give some students an opportunity. We've got another session waiting. Sorry. Anyone else? There were some hands up earlier. There was one student here. Please, student here. That's going to have to be the last question. I'm so sorry. Our panel is available after. Thank you.
So myself, Pravanjan, I am from Ambedkar College, Chennai. Yeah. So இப்போ நான் ஆல்ரெடி இன்டர்ன்ஷிப்ஸ் அட்டெண்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். ப்ரீவியஸாக சின்ன ஜாப்ஸும்
அம்பேத்கர் என்ன படிக்கிறீங்க? What is your master's degree?
Physics student.
Physics, okay. BSc Physics. Okay, go ahead.
So இப்போ அவங்க சொன்ன கொஸ்டின் நான் இப்போ நான் ஆக்சுவலாக படிச்சது கம்ப்யூட்டர் சயின்ஸ் டியூரிங் ஸ்கூல் டேஸ், பட் நான் இப்போ சூஸ் பண்ண ஃபிசிக்ஸ். ஸோ இன்கேஸ் இப்போ நான் மறுபடியும் கம்ப்யூட்டர் சயின்ஸ் சூஸ் பண்ணும்போது மேபி மற்ற ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் கம்ப்யூட்டர் சயின்ஸ் படிச்சுட்டு அந்த ஃபீல்டுக்கு வர ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸை விட என்ன கம்பேர் பண்ணா மேபி ஒரு லேப் இருந்தா ஸ்கில் இருக்கு, பட் மேபி அடாப்டிவிட்டின்றது கொஞ்சம்
தயார் பண்ணிக்கணும். அங்க வந்து எனக்கு தெரியாது, அவங்களுக்கு தெரியும், அவங்க தான் அட்வான்டேஜ் இருப்பாங்க. தயார் பண்ணிக்கணும். இப்போ வந்து சைட்ல தயார் பண்ணிக்கலாம். தம்பி, நான் ஐடில இருந்து வரேன். நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி நான் ஊர் சைடு இருந்து போய் எடுக்கிறேன், புரியுதா? ஐ டெல் யூ சம்திங். டிகிரில மெக்கானிக்கல் பண்ணாலும் நல்லா பண்றோம். இப்ப சார் பையன் சொன்ன மாதிரி தான், நீங்க வந்து உங்க டிகிரி இஸ் நாட் கோயிங் டு ஹெல்ப் யூ இஃப் யூ வாண்ட் டு கம் இன்டு ஐடி. அந்த ஸ்கில்ல நீங்க நல்லா பண்ணீங்கன்னா உங்களதான் நாங்க பார்ப்போம். சி வி எம்ப்ளாய், என்னோட பாஸ் வந்து சோசியல் சர்வீஸ் பண்ணலாமா? நீங்க 1 மணி நேரம் பில் பண்றாருன்னா இவ்வளவு காசு வருதுன்னா ஒண்ணு அதுல போட்டா எவ்வளவு சம்பாதிக்கிறது, மீதி நான் எவ்வளவு எடுக்கணும் தான் பாக்குறேன். இதுதான் எண்ணம். நீ எவ்வளவு சீக்கிரம் வர போற, நீ எவ்வளவு சீக்கிரம் சம்பாதிக்க போற.
Continuous process.
இது வந்து லேர்னிங் இஸ் கோயிங் டு பி ஆக்சிஜன். அதுதான் நீ கத்துக்கிட்டே இருக்கணும். நீ ஸ்மார்ட்டா இருந்தா மேல வர முன்னாடி வந்துகிட்டே இருப்ப. இல்லன்னா இவர் சொன்ன மாதிரி 3 மாசம் நான் பண்ணாலும் நினைச்சிருவேன்.
அதே மாதிரி ஆழமான மாதிரி இருக்கணும். கம்ப்யூட்டர் சயின்ஸ் படிக்கணும்னா அது நிறைய பிரான்ச்சஸ் இருக்கு. நம்ம பணமர மாதிரி மேல போய்கிட்டே இருக்கோம்னா ஹைட் வளர்ந்துடலாம். But growth is both ways. So where you want to grow is where you have to decide. And that's where your footing is. And that's where you have industry connects and experts for where you want to go ask them for guidance or knowledge.
We can take the excellence offline.
Yeah. So I'd like you to join me and thank our panelists, and they are available after the session.
Thank you, Sandy. You are a wonderful moderator too. And thank you, audience.
It was so kind. After the session, you know, interactive session, I have not attended. On behalf of the entire panel, thank you, audience.
Yeah.
க்ளோஸ் வச்சுக்கோ. இப்போ நீ இங்கே தான் இருக்க முடியாது. தங்கத்துக்கு உங்களுக்கு வேலையே இல்லை, வாங்கத்தே இல்லை. நான் வாங்கி பல வருஷம் அது வீடு எப்போ வாங்கினா அதோட தங்கம் வாங்க முடியாம அதுக்கு லோன் கட்டுறதுக்கே தெரியாம போயிடுச்சு.
எங்க வாங்குனீங்க?
குன்றத்தூர்.
அம்மா இப்பதான் ரொம்ப பீக் ஆயிடுச்சு சார்.
இப்போ பயங்கரமா இருக்குது ஏரியா.
அங்கதான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பில்டிங் ஒர்க்ல அந்த சைடு தான்.
அப்படியா?
குன்றத்தூர் பாய் கடை அந்த சைடு. இந்த பாய் கடையெல்லாம் பில்டிங் ஒன்று எண்டி வந்து.
ஆமா,
அது பார்த்தோம்னா அது பக்கத்துலேயே நம்ம பில்டிங் கட்டிடுச்சு.
அப்படியா? அங்கதான் நான் அப்பெல்லாம் அங்கதான் இருக்கேன். அப்பதான் நான் போனேன், ஆக்சுவலா அந்த டைம்ல தான் போனேன் பாய் கடை.
அப்போ அங்கே வந்து பில்டிங் முடிச்சுட்டு நாங்கள் இங்கே வந்துட்டோம், கோடம்பாக்கம் பவர் ஹவுஸ்ல. பவர் ஹவுஸ் அங்கே
என்ன ஒர்க் பண்ண அதுல?
பெரிய கம்பி கட்டுறது எல்லாம் பண்ணுவோம். மேஸ்திரியே எங்க மாமா தான் வேணான்ட்டாரு. டேய் நானும் இந்த வேலை வேணாண்டா அப்படின்ட்டாரு. அப்ப அந்த டைம்ல மாசு இல்லைண்ணா.
யார் சொன்னது? எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு அதெல்லாம் எப்பவே மாசு. இன்னைக்கு அதே இல்லை தெரியுமா?
அதுதானே நான் வேலை செய்யும் போல மாசு கிடையாது.
எல்லாம் இந்திக்காரன் வந்து புல்லா இறங்கிட்டாங்க.
இப்ப இங்க என் மச்சான் என் ஊர்லயும் 38,000 சொன்னேன். ஞாயிற்றுக்கிழமை லீவ் போட்டுருவான். ஒரு நாளைக்கு 1,200
அழகா 9 மணிக்கு போயிட்டு 6 மணிக்கு கை கழுவிட்டு வந்துடுறாங்க.
1.5 நாள்ல அடிப்பானுங்க.
அது கான்ட்ராக்டா பேசலாம் அடிக்கிறாங்க.
இங்க மெட்ராஸ்ல
buzzword the whole day and yesterday, and right now is the time to gain deep insights into the planning, vision, and execution of this transformative project of Knowledge City. Leading this workshop, may I please invite on the stage Managing Director of TITCO, Thiru Sandeep Nanduri, IAS. To join Thiru Nanduri, can I please invite on the stage Professor Rita Jain, Registrar University of Madras and Professor of Theoretical Physics. I'm joined by our workshop panelists. Can I please now invite Principal Consultant at Times Higher Education, Amy Ross. And finally, please can I ask Consultant at Times Higher Education, Angela Silva, on the stage, please. Please welcome our workshop leaders, and I would encourage the audience to make the best use by engaging and understanding this pioneering moment in the Tamil Nadu education sector. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is a session on Tamil Nadu Knowledge City. As a speaker before me told, I've been going about this word a lot since last 2 days. Tamil Nadu Knowledge City is a flagship project of the government of Tamil Nadu. Today, our Honorable Chief Minister has laid the foundation stone for starting the infrastructure works for this project. The concept, there's an announcement by Honorable CM a couple of years back, and we have been working on this concept for the last 3 years. It's designed as a 2,500-acre campus north of Chennai, around 50 kilometers from Chennai. A very well-connected piece of land. The Chennai Chittoor-Tachur Expressway runs right across right in the middle of this particular planned campus. So it's well connected by an expressway. So it's very easy to come right from Bangalore or from Chennai or from Andhra Pradesh. Well connected, very close to Chennai. Pristine green campus. We have a river on the northern side of the campus. We have a lake on the southern side of the campus. So, and it's full of greenery as of now. So it's one of the best campuses you can imagine, a perfect place to learn and to educate, to get educated at the particular campus. So this 2,300-acre campus is divided into 2 phases. The first phase is around 870 acres, for which the foundation stone is laid today. The idea behind this campus, what we have thought about it is to have the best of the educational institutions, both international and national, coming there and setting up their campuses. Also, the research labs from across the world in different areas, and also the industries which are focused on research. So this campus is envisaged or visioned as a campus, as a place where industry academia collaboration happens. So we want the industries to be there, we don't want academics to be there, we want them to interact and then come out and innovate and then learn from each other. So this campus will not only have education institutions, will have industries, will have R&D labs, and also all the required infrastructure which is meant to be which is required in the city. So we'll be having supporting infrastructure for the students like sports stadium, you'll be having the student campus, you'll have libraries, then you'll have shopping areas, you'll have residential areas. So it will be a city in itself, well-planned green campus, and all the necessary amenities that are required for the city to be successful. So this particular campus, as I told you, is in the northern part of the city, well connected. As of now, what is happening is we have master planned the campus fully. We have created whatever is required in terms of zoning, the commercial zone, the industrial zone, the educational zone, the R&D zones, properly master planned. And we are going to start up the infrastructure works in terms of laying the roads, laying the stormwater drains, power, water supply, sewage network. We are also coming up with a district cooling system in that campus. So all the required infrastructure works will start up immediately, and by the end of this year, we'll have the infrastructure in place. All that is left is the plots which can be leased out as early as tomorrow. If you are interested, we can even hand over a piece of land to you. We, in fact, are coming up with the knowledge tower as a part of this particular initiative. Many of the universities, when we interacted
have given us a feedback that they would like to go asset light and they would like to start off something immediately rather than investing and taking a big piece of land and constructing on it. So we are coming up with a knowledge tower, which is meant to be a plug-and-play facility for all the universities. So you can just take a floor or 2 floors on lease, and you can use all the classrooms there. And you can also have common library, common infrastructure available for all the universities. So this plug-and-play concept is something which we are going to start off very soon. We call it the Knowledge Tower, and we in fact designed it for around 1 lakh square feet. And I'm very happy to share that in the morning, in front of the Honorable CM, we signed MOUs for more than 1,20,000 square feet, showing interest in this particular knowledge tower. So that shows the confidence all of you have in this particular scheme and also in this concept of knowledge city. So we have some of the educational experts from the higher education group. They talk about what makes Tamil Nadu attractive for all the foreign universities and where do we stand in terms of various rankings and what is the way for you to approach and get into the Indian market. I'll invite them one by one to come and present. They have a presentation to make. Following that, we have a professor from Madras University, Ishtra, is present. She can talk about foreign education, since a lot of students are also here. Importance of foreign education, how to go about trying to apply to one of these universities, and what Tamil Nadu Knowledge City can offer you instead of you applying and going abroad. All these foreign universities will start offering courses right in our backyard. So it's a great opportunity for all the students who are sitting here to avail this particular facility and this wonderful campus and do the foreign education right in our state itself. So more about that later. So with these words, I'll invite the next speakers to come and just make the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's so great to be here today. I've worked at Times Higher Education now for a few years, and I've done many interviews with universities, particularly around transnational education programs. And one common theme that comes up is we want to partner with Indian institutions. You know, that's something that we're really interested in doing. And that's really important, and it's been so great working on this project with TIDCO and really understanding what's happening with Knowledge City and all the potential it has to really bring those partnerships together when you're thinking about higher education institutions, both locally, internationally, also industry, and very importantly for local students as well. So it's been really great to see this. And we're not the only ones that think that. We also have over 130 global Fortune 500 companies that are set up in Tamil Nadu that also see the great potential within the States. So you can see a very series of renowned brands here that we can see with how appealing this is from an industry perspective. And to zoom in on some really incredible data about Tamil Nadu. Of course, there's a lot of information there, so I won't go through all of that. But just some things that do stand out is that it's the #1 state in electronics exports. It's the #1 in EV production, and also the #1 in the number of skilled workforce in India. So we can see some really impressive data about Tamil Nadu. And we also have on the other side like a very strong presence of subject areas that the state is very renowned for. So we have those enrollments within science and technology subjects, medicine, nursing and pharma, arts, law and commerce, and also management, where we're seeing high numbers of enrollments within Tamil Nadu. So it presents a lot of potential for universities who are interested to set up here, and also those opportunities available for local students. And I also want to point out that the GER within the state is much higher than India as a whole, so we can see some really great enrollments there within higher education. Population-wise, like Tamil Nadu is the 6th most populated state in India, and it's also the 3rd most urban state, so we can see a very big balance here, as you can see on the right, between urban and rural areas, where we can see that it's very urban as well.
So Tamil Nadu is with no doubt a state that really values its people and the people that live within the state. And there are many schemes that really promote those kind of vocational and technical skills, emerging industries, and looking at how those technologies and renewable energies, advanced manufacturing within the state, and how to really integrate that within its society. Soft skills as well, employability and entrepreneurship, as well as digital literacy, and looking for those necessary skills for the future ready of the students. Technology driven, as well as like leadership, entrepreneurship development. So it really brings all those core values within the state, and that's something that higher education institutions as well is worth noting to incorporate that. So universities within the state are definitely meeting those industry needs within Tamil Nadu. So we can see from the GCC perspective, 1/3 of the GCC set up in Chennai between 2022 and 2024 belong to engineering and manufacturing. So we can see that a lot of the enrollments are particularly within local institutions meeting within those industry needs and coming back to those engineering, manufacturing, finance areas, technology, automobiles and life sciences. So we can really see that as prevalent within the states. So state-wise as well, there's also to bear in mind the most introduction of the SEP, the State Education Policy, and that's as well bringing back those 21st century skills, future readiness, really thinking about its population within those empathy, communication skills, and bringing that within the state and how that aligns with what higher education institutions would be bringing, those practical industry skills, as well as having research-driven institutions. So I know this part is everyone has been very much waiting regarding to see what the Knowledge City would look like and its full potential. And here are some really great images to kind of give you that visual aspect of what the Knowledge City is potential to what it could look like. So, and as previously mentioned as well by Sandeep, there's those incorporating accredited colleges, national institutions, public, private, international universities, as well as bringing in those global industries as well. So the great thing about the Knowledge City is also that it's a community within itself. So we have that aspect where it's focused on its educational drivers, so very institutional based focus, research and development, and not to mention the Knowledge Tower as a vertical campus example. There's also the inclusiveness of the thriving community within the Knowledge City. So there's those commercial aspects within like bringing in those industries, as well as having residential spaces for students and those who work within institutions or industry, as part of that with the student housing as well. And not to mention, most importantly, as well, there's also amenities at the doorstep. So there's going to be retail facilities, hospitality facilities, sports facilities. So it's really a city within its own, a community within its own city. So that, as you can see, there's a lot of potential that's going into this. And this is a really great way to point out, how much space is given to that educational aspect and driving part of the Knowledge City. So we can see that 55% of that is planned to be for institutional space. And also very green and open space, we can see 25% is also dedicated to ensure there's that natural, sustainable environment around the Knowledge City as well. And you can see here the proportion that's going to be spread out in terms of retail and residential and sports facilities and so on. So this is the example of the master plan. Those highlighted in black are the spots for institutional zones that are planned for IBCs that can set up within the Knowledge City as well as local universities as the institutional space. And the white box there, number 2, is where the knowledge tower and the vertical campus would be built within the plans of the city. And to kind of give you that very visual aspect, if any of you have been to Central Park, we're thinking of it as being the size of pretty much Central Park, so that can really give you the idea of how large the knowledge city will be. And here's an example as well of the future outlook of the knowledge tower itself, just to demonstrate what that could look like if institutions are interested in more plug-and-play facilities and vertical campus options. So saying that, there are the flat campus options as well as the vertical campus options within the institutional zones or within the knowledge tower that will be available. And so I guess it depends what the institution's focuses are and how they would like to set up an IBC within Tamil Nadu. Many institutions sometimes could prefer a more vertical campus if that's something that they would like to transition to before building physical campuses. Some would not, some others have more preferences to just start from scratch and build physical branch campuses, but of course there's options for both. So lots of available options for institutions to choose from. And lastly, as well, setting up in the knowledge city, there are, as it's a zone that's designated for education, and it's a space that the state is able to, the state is a space dedicated for this purpose. So regulatory and approval differences are more present within the knowledge city because it's a designated space, as well as the land is pre-acquired, pre-zoned for education, with all the infrastructure, as previously mentioned, with the housing and the facilities and so forth. There's also the incentives and government support that can be allocated around the institution who considers knowledge city to open a branch campus. As well as the academic and brand positioning as well. As we know, it's very important for institutions to also market, what they are doing, and the knowledge city in itself already provides some level of marketing for institutions who are interested to set up in Tamil Nadu within the knowledge city. And with that in mind, I am going to hand you over to my colleague Emily, who will walk you through the market entry processes. Thank you.
Thanks, Angela. So now that we've looked at that broader outline of Knowledge City and how it really sits within Tamil Nadu's vision for higher education growth, I just want to shift slightly and take you into a bit more of a market entry guide, the market entry process. What's really important, I think, to keep in mind as I go through this is that Knowledge City provides that plug-and-play option or other facilitated options, but it isn't that standalone concept. It really is embedded within wider regulatory and different facilitation frameworks that foreign universities will need to navigate when entering the state. So as we move into this, you'll see how the national approval process and state level engagement intertwine and sit alongside one another. Some of the more practical considerations to think about in terms of entering into Tamil Nadu and potentially Knowledge City. So on the slide here we've got, it's quite high level, but the roadmap process in order to enter into Tamil Nadu as an international branch campus. I appreciate it's quite small on here, so I'm going to go into it in a little bit more detail, each of the key stages. What I think is clear though here is that establishing an international branch campus involves multiple stages and multiple agencies. So the journey will always begin at the national level with UGC approvals and eligibility checks, and of course the submission of formal application. But once that process is underway, a foreign institution would then need to shift into more state level engagement, and that's particularly around land, planning, compliance. And as I say, what's important here is that these steps don't exist in isolation. Different approvals run in sequence, some in parallel, and each will involve different departments, different stakeholders, both internally and externally.
So although the UGC process, I think, is very well established and very well understood, so I'm not going to dwell on that today. That's not really the focus here. Institutions do need to prepare very carefully internally and ensure that your institution's vision and ambition is really clear before you do proceed. And that involves, setting up potentially an internal working group involving all the key stakeholders from the start and making sure you do have that internal buy-in before progressing to UGC application. Obviously, UGC is looking for evidence of academic quality, equivalence with the home campus, clear governance, and also strong financial capacity and investment. But really what we're going to focus on here is more of the state level engagement. At this stage, universities will also need to engage legal and consultancy partners potentially, and doing that early in the process is really important to support due diligence, potentially readiness assessments, and also some initial alignment with regulatory expectations. That makes the whole process much smoother from the start. Once that UGC process is in motion, the approval and the LOI has been obtained, institutions will then enter a much more strategic planning phase. And here is where some of those decisions that Angela talked through, so of course, Knowledge City or the location, Knowledge City providing that facilitated and plug and play option as well. Joint versus solo venture, so whether you're going to enter into the market as a solo institution or joint with either industry or a local Indian university, and also that consideration of flat or vertical campuses. As Angela's spoken through those a little bit, I won't talk about those too much. Once you've received that letter of intent from UGC, as I say, this is where an institution would formally enter the Tamil Nadu facilitation system and process. And at this point, this is when Guidance Tamil Nadu would become the primary interface, coordinating discussions between the institution, various state departments, from, say, land and planning to infrastructure, policy alignment as well. This is where really deep understanding of the state's education policies and other relevant policies such as the R&D policy, industrial policy, and also the Private Universities Act also comes into play. And having that understanding, that deep knowledge, will really support future discussions and understanding of what is important in this process and what the state is looking for and expecting from a foreign university. Engaging with guidance early on is really important. It ensures that clarity, you're clear on the sequence that you'll be undertaking, clear on timelines, there's that mutual understanding from both sides. And it's also the simplest and most practical pathway to establishment. The next major milestone will be preparing a detailed project report with the support of guidance. This will capture your institution's academic vision, your campus model, any requirements that you have for land or expression of interest in Knowledge City, which will have been done at an earlier time, and also your phased development plan and operational plan going forwards. Guidance will then support facilitation of submitting that DPR to the Interdepartmental Committee for a review to look at feasibility, making sure it's aligned with state priorities. And during that period, institutions may also be progressing their operational development, so infrastructure, staffing, systems, compliance, starting to think about the courses that you'll be offering as well. Once that is in place, that will be approved by the Interdepartmental Committee, and at that point, the process of developing your operations in line with the UGC institutional readiness assessment will take place, and ultimately culminating in UGC approval to commence operations. So just to summarise, what would successful entry to Tamil Nadu look like for a foreign higher education institution? I think the key really is engage early and just engage. It's not necessarily about just getting one approval right and then moving on to the next one. It's really about managing all those connected processes from national authorization and approvals to state level delivery and alignment as well. I think the institutions that succeed will be those ones that engage early and build those really strong and genuine relationships with relevant individuals and agencies within the state. The DPR will support anchoring that vision that universities have, and having that really solid DPR in place will ensure that universities can maintain the momentum as they move towards the operational phase. So I'll conclude on that point, and I think hand over for the next speaker. Very good evening, I'm present here. Let me introduce myself, some of you can meet. I'm Professor Arangam, Registrar at the University of Madras, the first university to be established in the country, which is 169 years old. I happen to be the second ever Vice Chancellor of this non-age university, and I'm also Professor of Theoretical Physics. And I'm not 11th substitution, but almost a 12th substitution for the DS, the Deputy Secretary IAS of Higher Education Department. But since I'm in the Higher Education Department for more than 3 decades, and now also in administration, and I'm the one coordinated the BSc Blender Science program for Melbourne University, and we have been successfully running the program for the past 4 years. I also have experience as Fulbright professor and visited many countries for lecturing. So with this background, I just would like to start with congratulating TIDCO and Arangam, Tamil Nadu, the entire team for bringing the whole world into one campus. And I did not bring only the institutions of higher education, both in India and abroad, they have also brought the industries, libraries, sports, and whatnot. And I have the advantage here, let me just start with this, and then I would go into the regulations. And here the advantage is, coming to the academic area, I'm representing higher education again. So in higher education, we have the very stringent rules, of course, to ensure the quality in different institutions. But in curriculum design of late in the recent past years, we have got the board which should have an industry expert. And there is industry expert, and we do have skilling and upskilling programs. But as academicians, we find it very difficult to place all the students into different industry when it comes to internship and projects. But now I was just telling our managing director, so I have brought everybody into one place, and it will be very easy for students to choose any industry of their choice, because it's going to be there. And we were finding it difficult to sending students to different places and finding placement, and each student would have their own liking. And this is an excellent model, I should say. I congratulate you, sir, once again on behalf of Higher Education Department, and you have made this possible for our students in the future. So industry collaboration, the exposure the students get, both nationally and internationally with the experts and the industry, is going to be marvelous, and we are going to see the outcome of this endeavor in the next few years. And so I am very grateful to our Tamil Nadu government and the TIDCO for that. Now coming to the regular procedure. So we do have private universities, deemed universities, and we do have private colleges coming under the universities. Like University of Madras has got 148 colleges, and some of them are private colleges. And we do have the procedure, and very quickly I'll run through it, where they need to submit the application, whether it is university or under the university or deemed to be university. The higher education department takes care of initiation. general procedure I'm just talking. And they need to submit the application along with the topology and the fees to be paid and the focus of the mission and how they are going to go about it. And then there will be an expert committee who would visit, including the commissioner and the commissioner of higher education, secretary of higher education sitting, or a former vice chancellor. And there's going to be a kind of an inspection, and then they come out and with the intent, and then it has to be signed, and then there will be endowment, and then endowment should be given, and then there will be transfer from the trust to the name of the university. And all these things, within 3 months' time, they are given the sanction. This is the procedure. Now coming to the foreign private, this is private, but other than that, if it is a regular college, I am happy to mention University of Madras within the 10-15 within the NIRF ranking, at least 8 of our colleges are placed. So we have very strong colleges under the University of Madras. Now, when we initiate a foreign course, let me make it clear to you. I will come to the knowledge of city little later. So now when we initiate a foreign, because students are there, faculty members are here, any foreign program into any university or college, first of all, UGC says, this is the UGC mandate given to us. So that's all I'm saying, and you need to verify, and then they will change. And so within the particular university should find place within the first 100 in NIRF ranking. This is again quality assurance. And then you can adopt any foreign course, and the procedure here is, first you should get a UGC permission to start. And even if any college wants to start a certificate course or a diploma program or any transfer twin program, only for certificate and diploma program, they can initiate and inform their respective universities. If any of you are interested, you can do that. And then if you are going to start a program like twin program where 2 years the students do here and 2 years they go abroad and do, then the university should give permission. And it is routed through the university. Now, this is the procedure. But from the student's point of view, I'm coming to the student's point of view now. You may think, will I get accreditation, or will this course be recognized? When I do in the foreign university, will I get a government job here? Will I get a credit? Because we have a concept called equivalence. The teachers will know that. So will I get equivalence? Don't worry. So all that the institution will take care. Higher education department has got very beautiful regulator structure. So we need to place it in the syndicate, academic council, senate, and get the governor assent. Before that, CAST, that is Tamil Nadu higher education, will also endorse. After that only, we are allowed to start the course. So the students need not worry, the universities will take care of it. I was used to listening to our director, managing director of TIDCO. He said, I'm going to make it everything very simple and easy, and a single window system also we can. So once you get UGC permission, when it comes, now I'm coming to Knowledge Connect. He is going to make it very easy. Sir, please make it easy for us also in universities. So slowly we will, we are organizing. So the universities are already doing it, but the universities can also collaborate with the foreign universities in Knowledge Connect, so that that will make it more meaningful, and inclusiveness will also be there, sir. So that is my request to you. And so for the Melbourne Knowledge Connect, for them, we are going to coordinate with them. And so the foreign universities can feel very free, because Tamil Nadu is known for education for the past few thousands of years. And we are leading in education, and in education, whether it is informal education in the past or formal education now, we are for education, and any amendment, anything you face, we are here to, I'm representing higher education again. We, the higher education department, are ready to work with you and with the TIDCO, and we will be able to help you out, and that is how we are taking the higher education forward. And some of our colleges are having very good training program, real degree program, and study abroad program, credit transfer program, and all those programs. Of course, initially initially when we started, we had a problem. Now we have overcome all the problems, all the regulations are set. The university will take care of it. And our universities, I want to once again tell our Honorable Managing Director, universities are with you, sir, and we will stand with you in establishing in whichever way we can be of help and whichever way you can, approach even the foreign universities. You want to get any clarification from higher education, we are more than ready to do that. So on behalf of the Secretary of Higher Education, I would like to, since he has sent me, I would like to assure you that, and anything more if you want, I'm here to answer your question. And so we used to say, think globally, work locally, but we are thinking globally and working globally also. And that's the era we are entering into. So once again, I'm very happy to congratulate the TIDCO team and all of you. And hope we all have very positive and successful endeavoring future with this Knowledge Connect program. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, we are open for questions. If anybody has anything specific to ask about the procedure or about the knowledge city in general, you can ask us. There's one more mic there. Can somebody help us? And mic, one more time.
Yeah, can you take a video?
Mm.
Yeah, hi sir. First of all, good evening and good evening to the wonderful audience patiently listening. And this India Global Education Summit has been happening, and this is the first time I think so. And a great thanks to sir and our Madhusudan sir is there. Hi sir. Has been invited to Aerodecon event. It was wonderful event and it was social really. And ma'am, you said the roadmap about right. So how could be the successful way to enter into Tamil Nadu? Like how you think?
Can you just introduce yourself, please? Your
myself Pradeep and I have a startup called PR. So we'll do all education service as well as like digital marketing and working with like ChatGPT, Perplexity, DeepSeek, like Copilot and everything. As well as like I can have an app like I can take a footage so that your code will be like Louis Philip. So it's a 10-cent mirror one in the Indian version. As well as Google launched MLA test version, so I created the N version of like 2030. So that will be launched by our Deputy CM Udayana. So it's almost ready. So it's on a test phase for the like YouTubers. So that like once it's done, we'll give to TIDCO also like. And we have supercomputers from CDAC, Intel, Simplilearn, and for Indian Army and Indian Navy, spyware like Ant and small fish.
So what is your query? Sorry. Yeah, please. So. What is your question?
Question to ma'am, like the road to enter into like Tamil Nadu, you said successfully, like how you see the Tamil Nadu education, like we are the GREs number one in Southeast Asia, like 54 plus and marching towards 1 trillion economy. And we have like so much of skills like non-government scheme and like our CM Udayani, Deputy CM Udayani as well as like Muka Sanin sir. So we launched like more of like education service, like we the only one state in India, like we invest like more into education, like tons and tons of money has been provided there and from state to education across to the higher education and to the startups. Like each month we are providing like 10K pattern question.
Please quickly.
That's what like what exactly she thinks about the state education of Tamil Nadu. Like in which way they are able to collaborate with us.
See, they are our consultant. We are working closely with the Times Higher Education Group. So what we have engaged them to globally pitch the Knowledge City project to various universities in Europe, in the UK, and US, and everywhere else. So we have prepared this presentation to highlight what our strengths are, where we are, how Tamil Nadu as a knowledge economy is one of the best in the world. In terms of our higher education enrollment ratio, as you mentioned, the various schemes we have for education. So all that is being highlighted by that by Times Higher Education Group, and we are pitching it to various universities who are here, inviting them to come to Tamil Nadu and invest in B as part of a knowledge city. So that's they are showcasing our strengths to the world. Thank you.
My name is Noel David, and I work for Ulster University, which is a UK-based university. I work as the South Asia regional head for the university. So it's a proud moment as a Tamil to like have a global knowledge city come in, okay, because when you travel around the South Asia region and you see like other campuses and other cities coming up, it has always been like something which we always wanted it for our part of the world. Thank you very much for that visionary thing. My question is going to be like, what sort of representation, because we all know like everybody wants a piece of India. Okay, whether we look at the big four, Australia, New Zealand, US, UK, Australia, and Canada. So is there going to be a representation, or is it like first come, first serve? And what would be the first step? Like I did see the presentation, so who would be the right people? Do we go to the Times Higher Education, or do we come to TITCO? So who would be the right people to open the conversation with? So that's the two parts of the question. And then thirdly, we would also want to know, like, will there be guidance? Because as a university, we are quite open to like coming in with a partner, or like coming in on our own, or like coming in with the industry. But we would require a lot of hand-holding in this process. So will there be, like I did hear the registrar man say that, we are here and it's going to be like a very handheld process. So is that going to be like the way forward? So can we like come and there would be like a lot of hand-holding on that? Because we run campuses in Qatar. So apart from our home campus in the UK, we run campuses in Qatar. And this is one part of the world that we are also looking at. So, yeah.
Thank you for your questions. So to go one by one.
We will definitely handhold you. That's what TITCO is meant for. TITCO is a nodal agency for this particular project. You might have heard about an organization called Guidance during our discussions and during our Honorable Minister's speech. So Guidance is an organization which does the investment facilitation. They do the hand-holding, they do single window clearances for any investment or any industry which is coming into the state. So for this project also, all the roads will lead to TITCO, or it will lead to finally to the Tamil Nadu government. So whichever part, Times Higher Education is also our representative. So either you can approach them, you can mail it to us, or you can go to Guidance. We'll all work together. We'll let you know, we'll handhold you. Depending upon what kind of courses you want to start, or what kind of discipline you want to come up with, or you want to take a land and construct a campus, or you want to do a plug and play kind of facility, depending upon your choice and your investment plans and your plans for the state, we will accordingly guide you. There are two parts to it. One is showing interest in the campus itself and setting up a campus, or taking up a space there. The second part is how do you go about doing it? Like getting the UGC approvals, then getting the state education departments, the state government's approvals. It has different levels of approvals at both the central government level and state government level. So whatever it is, the state government level part will take care. We'll have a single window clearance for you. We'll ensure that all the clearances are fast-tracked for this particular project. We'll work together with various departments to do that. Regarding the central government, UGC is the agency for which you have to apply and submit your representation there, and then they will have their own criteria to screen it, and then they'll give you the clearance. So these are typically the process. That's what all the speakers explain to you on how do you enter it. So as a first step, you can directly send a letter or a mail to us, or it's in our website and it's everywhere. You can just send a mail saying that we are interested in Knowledge City. Then we'll contact you and we'll provide you all the required information. After that, we'll take it forward. So we'll be happy if you come. We already have interest from a lot of universities. As you asked, will it be a first come first serve basis? Yes, it will be a first come first serve. We're also looking at the top ranked universities. We don't want to open it to every university. So since it's a limited space, we would like to have some of the best universities come in, and also across disciplines. We don't want the same discipline, the same subject being repeated across the various universities. So all that will happen. If you are the first mover, then you will have the advantage of doing what you want. If you come late, then you might not have the choice, or you might not have enough leeway to do it. So I hope I answered all your questions. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. My question is for the managing director of TIDCO. What excites you the most about Knowledge City, and looking 10 years ahead, what impact do you hope it will have on Tamil Nadu students and Tamil Nadu's internationalization journey and India as a whole?
So this is a great concept which is not executed at this scale in the country. Though there are many states which have started the knowledge cities or knowledge hubs in a small way, where a lot of universities are located at one location. This is the first of its kind concept where the city itself is being planned in a large scale, where you're not only going to have education institutions, you're planning to have research institutions, research labs, the industries, and also the entire social infrastructure at one place. There are these similar concepts abroad. We have in Qatar, we have in Dubai, we have in Malaysia, some good concepts, successful concepts. We are trying to replicate that in India. So far, there's nothing in India at this scale. And I'm sure, I was told that a lot of other cities are now starting and other states are now trying to copy this and come up with similar cities. But we are the ones, the first mover in this particular space. What excites me is that the kind of interest that is coming in from various universities and various research labs. Today, IIT has signed two MOUs, one for their global campus and other for a research, automotive research facility. So both of them, IIT choose Knowledge City as its research facility, that shows the kind of interest and kind of confidence they have in this particular project. In 10 years, I'm sure that the entire location will be transformed. It will be a thriving hub of universities, thriving hub of students with so much choice around to work, to study, to have a comfortable life in a green and sustainable environment. So that's what excites me. It's a futuristic project which we are planning and which we are kick-starting off, and which will see the fruits in some years down the line.
Hello, sir. My question is to the Times Higher Education. I would like to have your opinion on there are existing systems in Europe. For example, in Switzerland there is EPFM, and in Saudi Arabia there's Scout University, right? So these are like knowledge-based institutions actually. But since this exclusively mentioned that there is no institutions within our proposed Tamil Nadu Knowledge Center, right? So how it is going to complement those kind of already existing systems in the Middle East?
Yeah, sure. I think that's a great question. I think I'm going to be completely honest. I think it's one I probably need to think about a little bit more, and maybe we can have a discussion after. But I think as has been discussed, I think what Knowledge City can offer is different, and it offers that plug and play option where institutions can consider what works best for them. I don't think we're suggesting that it's going to be right for every institution, but that's the conversations that need to be had internally. And then, as we've said, that opportunity is there, the hand-holding is there, the opportunity, the willingness from the state, from TIDCO, I think, really demonstrates that it is a strong opportunity. So I think it's probably one for, further discussion, but great question.
If I make it on the other way around, maybe we can say as it's a transformational education. That's one key of the TIDCO that is strategically planned for the Tamil Nadu. Transformational education, that's the core of the whole idea. You think that's one of the components that we added?
It's not just about translational education, so we don't call it an educational university or educational hub. It's a knowledge hub. We want both universities from abroad, from Indian universities, Russian Indian universities to set up their campus there, offer various disciplines, various subjects, various courses, some of the courses which are not available now, like for example AI, cyber security, quantum computing, all these are courses which are just coming up, which we have very few courses being offered here. So some of the universities who are doing great work abroad can offer those courses to our students here. Similarly, some of the universities which are offering good courses in the north can come think of setting up their campuses here. See, one of the biggest advantage of South is the student community. We have so many students, not only Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and the largest international student community comes from these states for all the universities which are located abroad. So it makes a lot of sense if these campuses are located right in our state. It will be much cheaper for the students community also to study here, and also it makes sense for the universities to be located closer to India and to the place from where the student communities are coming. and it's a win for both all the stakeholders. So we are looking at a knowledge hub at the education part, at the research part, at the industrial part, and also the collaboration between all the three.
Any other questions? I just want to add one point to what Sir said. It is not only transition, it is enhancing the quality of existing education institutions also. Like some of the advanced labs, like even quantum computing. I'm a theoretician, I am also involved in quantum computing. We may not be able to establish such exclusive centers in the already existing good universities in Tamil Nadu. So we would make use of their facilities and we would be able to collaborate with them and send students and have our own small research group over there. And this is enhancing the quality of education in already existing universities in Tamil Nadu.
Hello, Thomas from the Embassy of France in India. I have a quick question about secondary schools. So I've seen that schools also are part of the kind of institution you like to host in the knowledge city, I guess to cater the needs of the teaching staff, researcher, administrative staffs. I was wondering about the incentive you will be able to offer to institutional partners to set up shops in the knowledge city. And specifically for international players, like French players, who have a hard time actually to enter the Indian market because of the legal framework, basically, for secondary education, which requires you to be a non-for-profit institution. So I understand there are a lot of regulatory incentives within Knowledge City. Do you plan also to have subsidized spaces or economic framework which might attract foreign players into this specific sphere?
I understood you right. You're asking about the fiscal incentives that are available for education institutions who would like to come to. See, in the beginning of the presentation, my colleagues presented and talked about some policies. Like if you are setting up an R&D center in this knowledge city or anywhere in Tamil Nadu, we have a separate R&D policy which talks about specific incentives. Like we have 25% incentive on capital investment, and there are most of other incentives available. Similarly, if you want to set up a GCC or you want to set up an IT center, there are specific incentives and also incentives available for industries. For an education institution as such, in the state, as of now, there is no specific incentive policy, but we are coming up in the process of framing a policy for this particular knowledge city. Normally what we do is if a big university is coming or a reputed university is coming, if they show interest in setting up a campus or making a certain kind of investment, it goes to guidance and it goes to our government. We come up with a specific tailor-made policy, a set of incentives. It can be a land incentive, it can be a capital subsidy which can be given, and so many other kind of incentives that will be tailor-made for a particular institution. So as of now, there is no generic policy or generic incentive policy for education institutions as such, but as a part of our knowledge city framework, we are trying to come up with some good fiscal and non-fiscal incentives, and it will also be decided on case-to-case basis if the investment is huge or if it's a very reputed institution where we don't mind going the extra mile and supporting them as per their requirement. So that will be done on a case-to-case basis. If you are interested, you can always write to us. We'll then take up the case and we'll communicate to you directly. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, panelists, and thank you for all the questions. Before we wrap, I actually had one last question. I was wondering, how does Knowledge City, which is this wonderful initiative, give confidence for the long term and certainty to all the global institutions and investors who are looking into Tamil Nadu right now, looking at this momentous occasion?
Tamil Nadu is already an investor's paradise. You take any MNC, any foreign company or any big manufacturing firm, any firm, in any sector, Tamil Nadu is already hosting them. It is depending on which sector you talk about, I'll name all the top companies. So it's already an investor's dream place. We have friends from Japan, we have Taiwan. You name the country, you have all the investors and all the companies setting up their shop here. And education is the next step. And it's not that we don't have tie-up or we don't have universities. We already have Madras University working with so many foreign universities having some kind of exchange program or some kind of bridge courses. Similarly, so many private universities are already having joint courses or some kind of collaboration with a lot of foreign universities. So this is the next step where we're inviting these universities to come and set up in the state itself as a branch campus. So this is the next step for them. So I don't think so we have to sell any more on the confidence part. Now everybody knows Tamil Nadu, everybody knows Chennai, and the minister sold the state enough in the morning. He spoke about the state enough in the morning. I don't want to continue on that, but you can blindly close your eyes and come to Tamil Nadu.
Thank you. And next big step it is. Please give a huge round of applause for our workshop hosts. As a token of appreciation and for this, to celebrate this momentous occasion, please can we present some tokens of appreciation to our workshop hosts. And to the audience, I'm sure there's a lot of questions unanswered and there's still a lot of curiosity. Unfortunately, we're a bit short on time, but if I may, I'm sure the panelists would love to engage with you afterwards and answer all of your unanswered questions. Thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you to the workshop hosts. This was very informative. I'll see you in the other panel sessions. Thank you so much.
To engage or be part of the conversation, please come forward. This is a round table. It's a very interesting shape for a round table. Usually a round table is just one table, but I can see lots of different round tables, which is a positive. So my name is Steve Phillips. I'm the chair of Regent Global. We are a worldwide institution that started in the UK, and we are now in America, we're in Europe, we have a campus in Dubai, and we are opening a campus in Mumbai in April this year. So we have a level of what we call transnational activity already. My own background, I've been doing this for about 30 years, transnational education. I started in Russia in the 1990s, which was very exciting, and then moved to look at K-12, opening British schools overseas, and then pathways, level 3 qualifications, taking them from the UK to different countries. So transnational education, a lot of people use this phrase, they use it as a buzzword, and they think it's very exciting, they think it's quite a new initiative, but actually it isn't. It's been going on for a long time, more than 150 years, in fact, of UK transnational education. It started with the University of London in the 1850s, and they allowed some of their qualifications to be delivered overseas. One of the first locations was actually Mauritius, so lucky for all those University of London academics. I don't know how they got to Mauritius in the 1850s, probably they had to go there on a slow boat. I'm not entirely sure that's how they took their academic papers with them. But if you come back to the present, here we are 2026, over 90% of UK universities are involved in some aspect of transnational education, and that's in over 90% of the world's countries. So you can see it is a very prevalent part of what the UK university strategies are. Even last week, the UK government brought out their new, refreshed, we call it, international education strategy. And a large part of that new strategy for the UK as a whole was much more of a push overseas, looking at global partnerships, strategic partnerships, the last international education strategy was more about recruitment. It was more about inbound, so bringing foreign students into the UK. But now the strategy over the next 5 years, and this is just, from a UK perspective, it's a lot more looking at partnerships and how UK institutions can work with colleges, universities, and institutes overseas. So we're very excited about what we can do overseas. The UK government has identified 5 priority countries as part of this international education strategy, and I'm very pleased to say that India is one of those 5 countries. One of the world's youngest countries. I think it's 50% of your population is under 25. I heard that on a session yesterday, which is incredible. So many possibilities and opportunities over the next 5 years or so. And, here we are today. We find ourselves in this wonderful state, and we've heard so many interesting discussions over the last 2 days. And this session now, this particular session, is to find out really what institutions are looking for. Why would you link up with an institution overseas? And of course, there are very many reasons. I know we've got some UK institutions in the room, and I'm going to ask them for their insights in a second, and then also some local institutions or some Indian institutions that would be really interesting to hear your perspective as well. So some ideas about why these transnational partnerships exist. So academic mission is certainly one. Financial sustainability is another. Global reputation is an area that a lot of UK universities and colleges are looking for. Market diversification, of course, and that was about the recruitment, which was the former international education strategy. And research partnerships, a lot of universities focus on. Not all universities in the UK are research intensive. Region isn't. We are a teaching institution. And then soft power and influence, which the British Council has been doing for 90 years plus in the UK. So those are 6 areas that institutions generally are looking for when it comes to partnerships and transnational partnerships overseas. So the room has got slightly bigger since I started talking, which is really good, but I would like to understand who you all are. I'm not going to go around with a microphone and ask for a brief line of introduction, because that would be the end of this session before we had any dialogue whatsoever. But who in the room is from a UK institution? So we've got 5, 6. Okay, I'll be coming to you shortly. Jake is already prepped. He's going to talk a bit about DMU, what they do. Who in the room is from an Indian institution? Or related to? Okay, there we've got, that's equal balance. Anybody else from an institution that is neither UK nor India? Okay, no. So everybody else falls in that grey area somewhere between. Okay, let's start with some of our UK colleagues in the room, just to hear about what they do and why it is that their institution or their university tries to push out their agenda overseas. So Jane, we're going to start with you. We've got a microphone. Okay, first of all, which institution, which university are you from, and what do you do overseas?
So hi everyone, my name's Jake. I'm from De Montfort University. We are quite global now, I would say as well. So we've got a Leicester and a London campus in the UK. We have a campus in Dubai, one in Kazakhstan, one in Cambodia, and then we also have a small-scale TNE operation in Sri Lanka with Scots College as well. So we have got a lot of things going on within the TNE aspect. We have quite a big TNE relationship in Malaysia as well with Asia Pacific University, which does thousands and thousands of students. And De Montfort University, I think, I stand to be corrected, but I think it's in the top 10 in the UK for TNE, and we're one of the fastest growing within this space as well.
Right, thank you. And I know on your table, and I hope she doesn't mind, we're lucky to have a Vice Chancellor with us in the room, so from London Met. What would you, if an Indian institution, university came to you today and said, yes, we're looking for a partnership, what would you be looking for in particular from them, and how would it benefit London Met going forward?
Yes, I think building partnerships slowly and carefully, with trust, with care, and with a shared vision is really, really important. And I think in the past, some universities have gone into things quite quickly with partners, perhaps not thought things through, and certainly there's been a sort of, dare I say, the sort of colonial mindset that we'll give you our English degrees and off you go. And we absolutely must not do that. London Met would not do that. And the partnerships we've had are often long-standing, with a shared vision, shared curriculum development, and they're the ones that seem to work the best, certainly for London Metropolitan University. So that's where I'd start with any Indian universities who are interested in that. And I think they can be real benefits. We're creating global citizens. We want students who can work on projects across borders, use technology to learn together, and that would be the kind of thing we're looking for.
Okay, great, thank you. I might go to one more UK university, and then we'll ask some of our local partners what actually they're looking for. Brendan, do you mind if I come to you and look at Royal Holloway? Do you have a microphone close to you? So Royal Holloway has one of my favourite buildings. Every time I walk past it, I don't look anywhere else but transfixed by it. So what activity does your university do, or what are you looking for in an overseas institution?
Sure, thanks, Steve. So just to introduce myself, so my name is Brendan D'Souza. I am the regional manager for most of Asia at Royal Holloway. So my work involves the partnerships, the recruitment, and so on. In terms of what we do overseas, so obviously it's quite interesting because we're part of the University of London. So a lot of our engagement overseas tends to be through the regional teaching centres that are operated by the University of London. And we focus in particular on law programs, business programs, and so on. So that kind of constitutes a lot of our overseas engagement. However, particularly in India, but also in many other markets, we're also working on more direct teaming agreements. So, for example, we work with Shalini University here and Chandigarh, and we're working with several other universities to develop partnerships as well. But at the moment, there's a big shift more towards an agile mindset and developing new ways of working here, whether or not that's, specific TNE or if it's more careers focused, like we saw in the earlier sessions. So historically, more focused on the University of London programs because we are part of that federation. More recently, been a focus on direct engagement with universities here, and now kind of shifting a little bit more towards a broader range of activities, programs, and so on. So that's kind of where we're standing at the moment, basically, in a nutshell.
Great, okay, thank you very much. So that's three different perspectives from UK universities. So I'd love to come to some of our Indian universities and institutions in the room, perhaps the table at the front here. So transnational partnerships, what is it that Indian institutions are looking for? Is it strategic? Is it soft power? Is it financial? What is the goal or purpose for you?
My voice is audible? Yes. Good evening.
Hello.
Thank you for this opportunity. I'm Dr. Anita. I started my career as a professor from bottom-up approach. I train my students to go globally. Now I am with the Planning Commission. I'm saying how the government is planning for the students in their future, but top-down approach. Holistically, I have an experience how the government works at the past and present, and for the development of every youth of Tamil Nadu. We are clear about our vision, inclusive, quality education for all. And we have two language formula. One is our mother tongue, another one is English. That much we are clear about what we want actually. And our children are nearly 3 to 4 generations. The entire Tamil families are committing their entire life for the upliftment of their children. That is why it becomes a developed state across this nation and across the world. that children are highly committed and they are more well informed than the adults of this state. They know everything what is happening in every nook and corner of the world, and they are very specific what they want actually. Today we have discussed in different forums about 4 things, that is AI, quantum, then robotics and blockchain. 4 areas they are concentrating. They already have some ideas how to do all those things. Apart from that, we are having strength in care economy. We want to train people for that, where our students are more interested in that. And then financial management and agricultural-based agricultural automation. Then high machineries, mechanization, other things. They are very much interested. So many engineers, those who are in Tamil Nadu, they are highly skilled, aspiring, ready to be with the system. The system is right. They are commit themselves for learning and doing. That workforce is already proven across the world, and still they are having that aspirations and so many economical factors and their family commitments and their attachment to the roots. They are not moving out. Now the system is coming towards us. We have to address all these things that will bring. I think it will be a win-win situation for our students as well as for the people those who are coming in. Thank you for this.
Good, thank you very much. Well, win-win situation. That's one of my favourite phrases. So that's it's always good to hear. Perhaps we can hear from your colleague as well about. Could you explain your role as well and what you think that Indian institutions are looking for?
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Good evening to everyone here, and it's a lovely panel. I see that.
So the question, can I go back to your question, which is why would you link up with UK universities?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, right. So we are very happy to, firstly, we are very happy to link up with the UK universities, to be plain and simple, but I will tell you why. Now, Indian education system is based on the principles of Gurukul system. That's where we began our education. However, we then transition into the modern education system, which is it's more like a mix of the British system and also the US system. Now the Indian universities are yet to take off. I wouldn't say take off, but we have to mature enough to be able to bring that at par with UK universities or the US universities. Now in order to do that, we would like to link up with the successful universities there in order to adopt your best practices. What is it that has made you so special? Why is it that Indians would like to go to the United Kingdom for education? We want to do that for ourselves. So, yes, in a way, we are looking for mentors who can bring that knowledge back. We do not say that you shouldn't set up your universities here. We would be very happy to have UK universities in India. So that's point number 1, to be able to understand the evolving systems in the education field outside India. So that's one, the most important thing. The second thing, like I said, that our education institutions are yet to evolve even in terms of research because of the paucity of, let's say, funding. So we would want to have partners. We have good research capabilities. We have faculty members that are great researchers, but we would like that expertise to set up world-class research centers. So that's one area we would like to have partnerships built on. That said, yes, we would like to bring in mutual value. So it should be, like ma'am said here, it should be a win-win for all. That's what we're looking at.
Okay, that's great, and that's very helpful. Thank you. Can we have some more from our Indian institutions in the room? About you, lady over there, yes. Thank you. Could you introduce yourself and then what it is you're looking for from a partnership?
Hi, this is Dr. Priya. I'm from the Hindustan University. I head the School of Management. What we are specifically looking is, actually I met Ms. Anne David in the morning, and we were having a very similar thing. We would want to launch some new programs along with Regent College or any other specific universities in UK. And this is one thing, joint programs wherein 1 year here and 1 year there, that would be very ideal for us. And second one, summer programs and student exchange and faculty exchange if possible. So these are some of the things, and along with that, we would have to have collaborations in the incubation for the startups. We have a very good incubation ecosystem in our college, but we would want to have some virtual incubation along with the UK colleges as well. That will be really helpful to take it on both sides, because for you also, India market is a very big market, and that will be a very good thing to start with. So these are some of the few pointers which we would like to highlight.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'm going to come back to our UK institutions in just a moment, because one thing that I heard that I thought was, useful for us to know is what is it that UK universities can offer? So what best practice or part of soft power, perhaps academic institutions or practices, what is it that you would be able to offer institutions overseas? But before I do that, is there anyone else from an Indian institution that wants to talk about the kind of partnerships that they're looking for from their UK counterparts? No? Okay, so let's go back then to our UK colleagues in the room. Don't be shy. You're all experts, and you're senior leaders at institutions. Yes.
I know you are asking for senior leaders, but...
You're a senior leader, it's fine. Everybody in this room is a senior leader, don't worry.
As somebody who has done his undergrad here and went on to study in different places, ended up in the UK, did my PhD there, it was a different time, transnational education was not a thing. And I always feel like when you go somewhere to study, what is really important to get that experience, because the surroundings change around you, and then you are thrown into like a cauldron where you have to make friends, do things differently. And I think you need to find a sweet spot when we talk about transnational education, so that you give people the experience and you kind of can also allow the students where they are coming from to grow them there. So how do you see it, what is the best way out? Because, in the UK, students are always mixed with immigration. So sometimes it is frowned upon. So maybe transnational education is good so that we don't have to do immigration, but we can provide education there, so we can bring the standards. But can we really bring all the experience? Maybe these joint programs, or is there a new innovative approach? So that's what my question is.
Yeah, and it's a really good question, and I might come to colleagues to give more information about that. But the new education strategy that we have, the UK government has refreshed it, that we've all read through, I'm sure, over the last 7 days or so, does focus less on inbound students coming into the UK. So you experienced your UK education at a time when, UK institutions were told to recruit as many as they could. It's not now that we're not being told to do that, but there has been this, focus, this shift away from inbound towards a two-way mobility, if you like. And part of that definitely should be UK students going overseas to study, for sure. Because, for 30 years, and a lot of other colleagues in the room have been doing this for similar lengths of time, we've seen foreign students come into the UK, and they've brought amazing cultural insights with them, and they've made the classrooms better, they've made the institutions better, and I think any UK university or institution or college is better now academically and culturally for having foreign students as part of it. But why don't UK students do the same? Why don't UK students go overseas and study? Why do they stay in the UK? Any of my UK colleagues want to answer that? Anyone in the room from the UK has been overseas to study? Usually the answer is not. Oh yes, gentleman here.
Yeah, actually, I am based in Chennai and I was there in University of Greenwich. I done my master's in University of Greenwich in 2011 and 12.
Oh, good.
Yeah, my experience was very, compared to Indian education, it's more hands-on. And currently, I am running an organization which is promoting innovations. What we are doing is we are promoting, we are also, last November, I was in Warwick Manufacturing Group, Leeds, and Strathclyde University, and we are exploring more industrial job bilateral innovations opportunities for that. So I have a compared to Indian research and innovation facility, we are seeing good collaboration opportunity for joint product development in quantum computing. Mainly in hardware, I am seeing more opportunity for a joint collaboration.
Okay, yes, and that's great.
Thank you.
I hope you had a good experience at Greenwich when you did your master's degree. It's a great university. Jake?
Just going back to a couple of things, I think one of our colleagues over there mentioned about sort of T&E operations coming back this way. Is it upheld to sort of the same standard? Is it the same as doing it within the UK? I'd say yes. We're partnered with and looking to expand our partnerships with some universities out here in India itself. And we have our faculty come out to assess these courses as well to make sure they're upheld to the same standards. They run the same way in which we teach in the UK as well. So it does allow that transition for a UK student to move across to India as well. So we do provide that opportunity there as well. And then back to the last point you said as well, is why don't UK people go overseas?
Why don't we?
It's never advertised to us.
Okay.
You look at it in India. India is, go overseas and get a good degree. In the UK, that's never advertised to you. And that me being born and raised in the UK, it was never ever advertised for me to go overseas and get a good degree. But you can now, and it's something that I'm looking at starting between our UK and Dubai campuses. Is you could do your first 2 years of undergraduate in our UK campus and do your third year with us in Dubai. To some extent, the employability market within Dubai is probably better than UK, and it gives them that better return on investment, or the possibility to get that better return on investment. So the simple answer is it was never advertised to us.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point. So I used to work for the British Council. I was on their advisory board, and for years, I mean, the British Council is 90 plus years old now. They were trying to promote the ideal of UK-based students to go overseas and study. It started with learning a foreign language. Abroad, everybody knows that the only way really to learn a foreign language is to live in the country where it's spoken in terms of full immersion. But then the British Council started to look more at working with programs to send UK students overseas. It never really took off, if I'm perfectly honest, because sitting on the advisory board there for many years, hearing about lots of initiatives that didn't really work. But then when you talk about the British Council's soft power, how they're perceived in countries overseas and how UK universities are perceived overseas, yes, that did work. And that comes back to the point, it's advertised in your countries for students to go overseas, in this case for the UK. And that's why, for many, many years, the UK has been receiving so many wonderful international students. 600,000 was the target that we had a few years ago. That target has been removed now as part of the new strategy, because they're looking more at global partnerships and strategic partnerships as part of what we want to do over the next few years. So we're almost at the end. Oh yes, one more question.
So I totally agree with you, and I would never question the quality of transnational education, because NISAO is closely working with a lot of partners that want to establish universities here. But I think it's more than education, it's also about the class surroundings. So I think what point you said about opening the campus in Dubai and bringing the people there, and I agree.
most of my British friends who I did my PhD with have never left, were still doing job in the same university. Even if there are no like lecturer positions, they're like, oh, I'll keep on doing postdoc for 10 years. Maybe something will open up. But I think doing the transnational education, and maybe rather than throwing them right into a different university, maybe they'll look at the university, come to your campuses, and be like, oh, I'm studying in a different country, but there's some familiarity about it, and it will help both ways. Maybe that's the way to go. So maybe that Dubai model should be advertised more, and people should look at it more.
Yeah, and I think that's a very good point. And I think partnerships have evolved over the years, definitely. When you look at the first UK branch campus that established overseas, it was in the year, I was just talking to Brendan about it before, we think it's 2000 or 2001, it was Nottingham that opened a branch campus in China. And then Liverpool, where Brendan used to work, they followed a couple of years after that. But this idea of a full international branch campus now doesn't exist as much as it did 20 years ago. It's still happening, of course, and Southampton is the first university to come here in India, followed by 9 other institutions, I think, over the next 12 months. But transnational education is definitely evolving to more than setting up a campus overseas. And it's a lot more now about academic exchange and partnership models, flexible partnership models, rather than establishing a full campus. Yeah, we have a question at the back, then we'll...
Okay,
That's okay, yeah.
I'm Rosette Scholar from the IT. So, as we were discussing about the transnational, our expectation would be, as a student, as a research scholar, just like the infra, or maybe the student is aspiring to go abroad, we would expect the faculties from the other countries to come, fly in, and make it more accessible for all the students to have experience, the lecture or whatever. Not possible that all the students could fly, but if that faculty could come and make a difference, and just like how we're having it today as an international arena set up, and we're having a great experience. So down the line, as we see, as a researcher and as a student, I would like to say, I will make it equitable to India or to other global market as well. So our lecturers fly, and everything happens either way. So that's exactly what, if you can look into that, as do we'll be grateful.
Yeah, and I think, UK-based academics can definitely learn a lot from their overseas counterparts. I'm 100% sure about that. And the two-way mobility, I started off by talking about how the UK used to have this strategy about inbound only, and then, it's changed a lot over the years, and especially with the new international strategy now, it's two-way mobility. But that shouldn't just have to be student, right? It can be an academic exchange, and the two-way mobility would definitely benefit everybody. So, colleagues, thank you very much. That was a very interesting discussion. It's certainly the most round tables that I've ever had the pleasure of dealing with. Usually it's one large, but it was really good to get all of your insights. And thank you once again to our colleagues at NISAL and the first India Global Education Summit here for bringing us all together. Have a good rest of the conference. Thank you. Oh, one more comment, maybe a closing comment.
Sir, one thing, UK can collaborate with our Tamil Nadu or any of the universities, that is history. You have 300 years of embedded history of us with the Tamil Nadu, India. It's not India at that time, but Tamil Nadu is having. There are a lot of rich literatures over here. It is documented in English as well as in our regional languages, and most of us, we are very poor in documenting. We have wondered how you have documented things. Your students, your generations came over here and see the documentations that is done by their ancestors, and make it as a storytelling methodology or some means. They may feel the legacy of their ancestors, as well as it may be documented in some other pattern that new generation may love.
that kind of treasures are there with Tamil Nadu, that we can motivate your UK students maybe with us for a while, and it will be one way helpful for us to document, re-document it in a proper way. That we need people. And how we are going to rank our country on par with Europe or on par with China? How you are keeping your mind about India? And how you are going to give the content, the same content as you are going to give it to Europe or some other countries? Or you will that is next level. You have different levels for us. That we wanted to know. We want the best. For that, what we have to do? That we will negotiate and we will get it.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a really good point to close on. Thank you very much. So, Tamil Nadu and the institutions here want the best, and the UK institutions also, want the best. And that's why I think, the strategic partnerships will really work. And you hit upon another favourite word of mine, which is storytelling. And I think storytelling is such a powerful thing. So, friends and colleagues, if you're looking, to partner up with someone from a different country, I think that telling your story or the story of your institution, the history and the culture, is a really good way of starting that conversation and that partnership off. So thank you very much for bringing that up. So that's the official end. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of the summit. We're almost done. Have a good day. Thank you.
Can I request you all to join us in the last session as well, which is going on next door, which is very kind of fits in after the TNE, finding the blueprint, please.
Yeah, thanks for inputting. Oh, thank you.